Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Carl from Carl's Opinion. We're back here again. Hey, sorry we had the technical difficulties before. Yeah, when I went out in the field over the weekend, when I came back, I plugged in the wrong line into the mixer board. So I was hearing Lalo could hear me just fine, but I couldn't hear him, and I'm not even sure it was getting onto the track. So just again, welcome back everybody. Got a lot of news to cover tonight's open topic. Mueller report front and center. Again, I was speaking earlier about this, how the mainstream media is already trying to spin. Let me make sure you guys can hear me here. You get the audio going. Okay, yeah, it looks like everybody can hear me. Great, fantastic. All right, so yeah, it looks like mainstream media is already trying to do their spin on the Mueller report. I was watching Ari Melber earlier, and he's already talking about how Mueller's done a lot of great things, and all these people have been indicted. 37 people indicted, but of course, those out of those 37, I think like 34 were Russians who, okay, but nobody was ever charged in this country or indicted in this country. No Americans were indicted in this country for conspiring with the Russians to try to sway the election or mess with the election or anything with the election whatsoever. So, that 37 number is misleading at best and just an outright, just deception in the worst, at the worst. And then they they were talking about how Trump aides have, got given a lot of time, and how Manafort got 7.5 years and Haldeman and Ehrlichman got 8, so it was almost as much as time as they got. But again, Manafort got prison time for acts he committed years before he ever got involved with the Trump campaign. It was tax evasion and not money laundering, bank fraud, I believe. So I mean, it had nothing to do with Trump. Where Ehrlichman and Haldeman with Watergate with Nixon, they were working directly for Nixon. They were indicted for crimes they committed while they were in the White House, while they were working for Nixon, as far as covering up the Watergate break-in, just lying to Congress about it, and all those kind of wonderful things that went with it. So so the comparison between Nixon's aides and Trump's aides getting indicted, is literally apples and I don't know, maybe mangoes, even beyond oranges. So I mean that's what's going on now. But I mean it's funny. You can tell that they know that what's not going to be in that report. There's not going to be anybody linked to the Trump campaign that actually conspired with the Russians to do anything. In fact, what's his name that just got arrested, got indicted? God, I can't remember his name. The real goofy guy. Anyway, he got basically his indictment. Let me see. Pull him up real quick here. See. Let me see if I can pull this up real fast. Let's see. Trump. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me find this guy. Oh, Roger Stone. Yeah, Roger Stone. One of the things he was indicted for was actually lying to the FBI. And one of the things he lied about to the FBI was the fact that he was bragging that he knew Assange and he had met with Assange, and they were, hey, known you. Everybody was asking about you. Everybody was wanting to know what happened to you. We hadn't seen you in a while. Oh God, it's so good to hear you. We were all worried, like maybe you were sick or something, or or something. Nobody knew. Nobody. In fact, we were just talking about you yesterday. You must have heard us talking about you. That's kind of funny. So, hey, yeah, hey, Paula, and GT, how you doing? Yeah. But yeah, everybody was talking about you yesterday, and we were all worried about you. So I'm glad to see you back. Hopefully everything's good to go. And where you been? How you been doing? What have you been up to? Yeah, I did some live interviews. And hey, Tanya, how you doing there, young lady? Oh, fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and adjust your status there, Miss Tanya Seals. There you go. Tanya, I just made you a moderator, so there you go. I give you the blue wrench. Give you the blue wrench, Tanya. But great, thanks for subbing. Totally appreciate it. Taking a break, my evil was getting to me, and I had to breathe. Oh, here you go. Yeah, but okay, yeah. But yeah, Paulie, I don't know why that got hit in there. Hey, GTX, that beats the heck out of me. Maybe YouTube might have thought it was some kind of a link or something. Because if you put a link up there, I know YouTube will catch it will pause it for half a second or something. So yeah, I don't know what that was about. But anyway, so anyway, happy to see all you guys on here. I see Paula, GT, Tanya, Nanya, and Laylo, of course. Laylo. Oh, good. You watched the Chili show. Yeah, I did one where I just kind of walked around. I finally just caught you live. Yeah, Paula, the thing is, I got that full-time attorney gig thing. So, it's some nights I work late, and some nights when I get home, I'm kind of wiped out. And so I don't have a set schedule. Unfortunately, that's the biggest drawback to my site is that you don't have a set. I don't have a set schedule. I don't come on like at 8 p.m. Every night or every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or something. Hey, Links, how you doing? Good to see you there as well, and good to see you guys out here. And yeah, I had a fun time this weekend. I met a lot of people. And Links, your hat. I'm going to be mailing it out actually tomorrow. I'm mailing you out two. I got a. I didn't know which one you wanted, so I mailed you out a light blue and also a navy blue. So I'll put that in the mail tomorrow. I put it in. I rented an SUV to go out to the site, and I left it in the SUV, and I left the SUV over at the sheriff's office. I leave it at the sheriff's office because it's safe, so nobody will mess with it. If I leave it in front of my office, everybody's like, jogger, gonna get that guy. So anyway, but yeah, it's the biggest hole back there. But yeah, like I said, Tanya, went ahead and made you a moderator, so you're good to go there. And so yeah, we just covering a lot of news. I had Laylo on earlier, and when I came back, I dismantled the mixer board and I took all the wires out and stuff, and I didn't put like little tags on the wires and the cords where they went back in. So when I put them back in, I put one in the wrong. I switched the spots they were supposed to go into. So oh yeah, no problem, Links. So hey Paula, and again. So anyway, so I switched the spots. You're welcome, Tanya. I switched the spots so Laylo could hear me. I don't think anybody could hear Laylo, and I couldn't hear Laylo myself. So, and if I couldn't hear him and he wasn't going through, so I had to cut the live stream off and deleted the video and pulled it back up. Got back down here and figured out what I had to do, and I fixed it. So yeah, we're good to go for live call-ins. In fact, let me get that number up here. Where we are. And it's 4-2. Yeah, so we're open for it's open topic. Mueller's in the news. We got Pentagon doing their thing. And let's kind of jump over to that story. And there we go. Pentagon lays out $6.8 billion of projects to cut for Trump border wall. Yes, he's part of the deal with that National Emergency Act is that basically, as long as the money's already been appropriated and there's been authorization for the act itself of say building border fences, border barriers, then you're good to go. And so in 2006 they had authorized. In 2006 they had actually authorized construction of additional fencing, and they also. I hung up on Laylo all the time. No, poor Laylo, he gets hung up on all the time. Oh, there's Laylo. Here we go. Hey, Laylo, can you actually, let me see if I can hear you this time. Say something.
Something?
Yeah, okay, good. I hear you now, man. Good to go.
Hey, Carl, what's up? Yeah, listen, I don't know look, I tried to call you a few times, and I know you were having some problems, but I did. I tried to call, and I can hear you 100%, but I guess you couldn't hear me, so.
No, I had the wires crossed on the mixer board, so yeah, you could hear me, but I couldn't hear you, and I don't think anybody else could hear you, so yeah, so I just I figured not much of a live call-in show if the only person being listened to is me.
Exactly. Hey, by the way, if anybody can hear me and Carl, he hung up on my ass, all right? He hung up. He didn't want to talk to me. That's the problem.
That's bullshit. Bullshit. I didn't hang up on you, man.
I'm just kidding. Really? I'm just kidding, Carl. I'm just kidding.
No, really,
hey, by the way, I know you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
What was that?
no. I was just saying. Yeah, the wires were crossed. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
No, I know.
Yeah. See, anytime I want to
I
hang
know.
up, anytime I want to hang up on somebody from now on, I'll just say, "Oh, the wires are crossed. I can't talk to you."
I know, Carl. I'm busting with you, man. You're a really good guy. Listen. By the way, I know we always talk. Meaning me. I always call and talk about something else. But anyway, you talk about the wall. Yeah. Look, I saw a video yesterday. Okay, from Paloma. Her name is Paloma. But oh my God, she puts great videos. She goes out there. Anyway, she put a video of. Oh man, I don't know if I don't think it was in Texas. It was something New Mexico. I don't know. It was one of those towns that, and she was driving for miles and miles, and the wall is there. So she just wanted to show there was a new wall, and it's there. So they are making the wall. You know, the thing is, a lot of people like myself, we don't see it.
Right.
We don't see it. So I just want to put this out there. They are making the wall. You know, so if you think, oh no, they're not making it. I used to think like that, but you know what? They are. It's just, I don't know why they don't show it. If you go to the news, they don't show it. You know, it have to be these people going over there and doing it with the phone or whatever and taping it. If not, you don't know. If you don't know if they're actually doing it or not. So I just want to tell people they are making it.
Well,
go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, no, I mean that's great. It's like, yeah, the mainstream media doesn't want to show that there's actually progress getting done because they just want the narrative that Trump can't build his wall, Trump's ineffectual, Trump's a loser. Then they cut away and they show the wall being built. It's like, oh, well, I guess he's getting his wall built. And with the Pentagon, finding 6.8 billion. Remember he was only asking Congress for 5.7. They gave him 1.3. Now he's got another. It looks like another 6.8 billion getting ready to be headed towards wall construction. So you take 1.3 plus 6.8, that's 8.1 billion right there. So he's rocking and rolling. He's getting ready to get this thing done.
I hope so. Hey, Carl, let me ask you something because I'm curious and I don't know. So if you know or anybody here in the chat knows, please let me know about. That he signed the whatever the bill for the emergency, right? For the emergency border, right? What's going on, right? And you know how the Democrats, they say no, and then they got, I think it's 12 Republicans they opposed of that. Now, what's going on with that? Because to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, so I want to know your opinion or anybody who knows what's going on with that.
Wait. I'm sorry. I was playing with the mixer board again because I saw GT said that it sounds a little bit off to me. So yeah, GT sounds a little off to me. Oh wait, you were making a joke, but I mean, hey,
about what?
No. Hold on. Hey, if just asking everybody out there, hey, does it sound good out there? Does everything sound good as far as Lalo and me? Do we both sound good in the coming over across on the audio? So if
do I sound sexy? Do I sound sexy, people? Do I sound sexy?
You always sound sexy. You always sound sexy. No, but hey, I'm sorry, man. Love everyone here. Hey, Links, yeah, definitely. Where we go one, we go all. Damn straight. Damn straight. One of my favorite.
Hey, I love everybody here, man. Everybody here is so beautiful and so great. So thank you for being here. But go ahead, Carl. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just real quick. What was your question? I'm sorry, man. I was playing with the mixer board while you were.
No worries, Carl. I was just asking. You know how Trump, the President Trump, signed the emergency of the border. The bill or whatever it's called. I don't know. And then they had. The Democrat, of course, they say no, and then they had 12 or 13 Republicans saying no, like denying it, whatever. So I want to know because I don't know what's going on with that. What's going on with that? Is the bill going on? I know he did the VOTE, the Voody or whatever they call it. So I don't know if I pronounced it right, but he did that. Veto, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So let me know what's going on with that.
Okay, this is how it works. Okay, basically a declaration of national emergency, it's not like a declaration of war where the Congress declares war and the president has to sign off on it. A declaration of national emergency requires the president's signature on it. And also then, if Congress wants to end the national emergency, the president is allowed to veto that bill. So anyway, the House passed it we knew they would. The Senate passed it. 12 Republicans, 12 traitors jumped ship. Although Rand Paul,
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
I'd say Rand Paul really, out of all of them, I'd say Rand Paul probably isn't a traitor. He hates executive power overreach. He always has. I mean, he's consistent. I mean, he's always been consistent about executive power. So Rand Paul, not a traitor. Just that he's just that's the way he is. Always been like that. Always libertarian. Always will be. But the other 11 people, the hell with them. They suck. But anyway, so Congress, so the House passes it, the Senate passes the resolution to terminate the national emergency, which under the law they're allowed to do. Now the president would have to sign that, or not sign it, let it become law by operational law by him not signing it, or he can veto it. Now once which he did, he vetoed the bill. So it's not law. So the resolution terminating national emergency is not law. Now, in order to override their veto, it requires a 2/3 vote in both houses, both houses of the Congress.
Okay.
Both the House of Representatives under Pelosi would have to get 2/3 votes to override his veto, and the Senate would also have to get 2/3 votes to override his veto. So basically, you would need 67 votes in the Senate, and whatever 2/3 of 430, I don't know, 5, 7, 9, I don't know, something. It's 435 congressional districts, and I think they had one for Puerto Rico and one for D.C. I can't remember off the top of my head, but but Pelosi said they don't have the votes. The Republican minority leader says they don't have they got enough Republicans on board with it. They're not going to vote to override the president's veto. So even in the House, it won't get through. And in the Senate, there's no way.
Oh,
In the Senate,
you serious? Oh, that's good. That's good. I
yeah,
mean,
no.
oh my God, I didn't know that. That's good news. I'm sorry, Carl. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. So Pelosi, they don't have enough votes in the House. They don't have enough votes in the Senate. The Senate would require 20 Republicans jumping ship. That's not going to happen. And even though the 12 Republicans, and even out of the 12 who voted for terminating the national emergency, I'm not sure all of them would also vote, if you will, to vote to override the veto. I'm not sure if they would necessarily go that far either. But even worst case scenario, even though all 12 voted, well, they're 8 short. There would be 8 short of that.
Hey, Carl. Oh my God! Listen, thank you so much. Serious, man. This is good news. I didn't know this. I swear. Look, if this is like old news, hey, to me they're new. I didn't know this. That's why I was asking you. Oh my God, this is good news.
Yeah.
This is good news. I mean, serious, man. Oh my God, because everything is like every time Donald Trump tried to do something, it's like it seems like it doesn't go through. It's like fuck. I'm sorry.
Now remember, I believe the Ninth Circuit upheld an injunction out of their court.
I can't stand those. Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah,
stand
okay, look, okay, hold on. Like I watched Six and Hammer, and I agree with him on this one. Six and Hammer, he does his shows at, I want to say, 6 a.m. in the morning, my time, so like 9 a.m. East Coast time. And I agree completely with what he said, is that, you know what, this is not a dictatorship. Things take time. So basically, the Ninth Circuit is upholding the injunction preventing Trump from going forward with the national emergency, but that's okay because that means it goes to the Supreme Court. And yeah, you want it done now, but that's okay. We live in a country where things don't happen fast, and that's okay. That's how this country.
I know.
No, that's how this country. That's how this country has lasted since 1789. Okay, I mean it lasts because change comes slowly. It gets frustrating at times, depending what side of the aisle you're on and what change you're looking for. But I like slow change. That's okay. No big deal.
No, I like fast change. What are you talking about, girl? I like fast change. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that's because you're from Venezuela, man. You like all that stuff fast. You want everything done fast.
No, it's not because of that. But I look, I'm with you. I'd rather have slow change than fast change. You know what I'm saying? But as long as it's good, that's all I'm trying to say. And I know I keep interrupting, but go ahead. Go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
No. We're having a conversation. That means you're not interrupting. We're just talking. So no big deal, man. You're good to go.
I know.
No, you're
Thank
good.
you.
You're good to go. But yeah. So in other words, okay. So now the Ninth Circuit's holding it up, on the law end, but that's okay because it gets to the Supreme Court. I find it. I find it 99%. Well, I'm 99% sure that the conservatives on the bench will vote to undo the injunction and to allow the president's national emergency. Because if you look at the statute on national emergency, and I punched it up before, I mean, there's no when Congress, Congress under Article 1, you have Article 1 is the Congress, Article 2 is the president, Article 3 covers the judiciary. Okay, that's the first three articles of our Constitution. Article 1 provides that Congress is in charge of appropriations. In other words, like when the Pentagon gets a budget of like $700 billion, they don't just give them a check for 700. They don't just direct the Treasury to write a check to the Pentagon for $700 billion. There's that very specific things like $20 billion for this fighter jet, $100 billion for these tanks, $10 billion for repairs at the PX stores around the bases. So only Congress has that authority under the Constitution to appropriate funds. However, Congress, now here's the only argument. The only really good argument out there. Can Congress give away its constitutional authority to the executive branch? That is the only good argument out there, whether or not that law itself from 1976 is in fact unconstitutional, which gives the executive branch, the president, the ability to change around the appropriations. So even though like this $6.8 billion, the Pentagon is finding projects to cut to give to the Secretary of Defense to then give to, say, Homeland Security to continue building the wall. Is that law itself unconstitutional, that Congress cannot give away their constitutional authority to the executive branch? That's a decent argument. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to that, yes, Congress can do that by passing the law to give away its appropriation authority to the executive branch, especially in cases of a national emergency. So again, there's no criteria for what a national emergency is. So there's really nothing for the Supreme Court to look at to say, well, he didn't meet these 13 factors. He declared a national emergency. The law is pretty vague on that. It just says national emergency. He can declare it, boom, and then he can reappropriate funds to take care of said national emergency. So I think the Supreme Court is going to uphold this, saying Congress gave him that authority to do it by statute. If Congress doesn't like it, they can change it. And I think also a good argument against what the Ninth Circuit is doing as far as holding up the injunction is saying that there is a remedy for Congress. There is a people's remedy, namely Congress can vote, just like they did, to undo the national emergency. And if it's such an egregious declaration of a national emergency, they could find 2/3 votes in both houses to, in fact, override his veto if the president vetoes it. Because, like, say Trump just did something stupid. I don't know. He wanted to build a wall, between Montana and Canada. He says, oh, national emergency, we got to keep the Canadians out. Well, you could easily find 2/3 of two-thirds of the House and the Senate to vote to end that national emergency. But this is a real national emergency. It's been backed up by what's going on at the border, the amount of drugs that are coming across, the amount of people that are coming across, the amount of people who are getting harmed by making that trek up here to come across and then getting here and becoming burden on our society, a burden on our law enforcement. So I think at the end of the day, the Supreme Court reverses the Ninth Circuit, does away with the injunction, and Trump can then go forward. Once the Supreme Court makes that ruling, he's good to go. He's clear. And then it's done. So right now the Pentagon's looking for the money to send over to Secretary of Defense to then turn over to the Homeland Security Department to finish, those certain areas of the wall. Like there's like 250 or 350 miles they're looking at right now to use that money for. So yeah, I think we're in really good shape here, Lalo. Really good shape.
Well, hey Carl. Well, listen. Before I go, thank you. Like I said, man, I love to hear from you because, man, I do learn a lot hearing you and hearing the people that they call over here. So thank you again. Like I said, I didn't know this, so thank you, man. And this is good news. Serious. This is good news, man. So before I go, I just gotta say one more thing before I go. What I was going to say. Oh my God. Don't mind me, Carl. Is the whiskey. No, but listen, thank you again so much, man, for your time. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for listening to me. And serious, thank you for your information, man. You're one of the, how they call it, the wise man. Thank you. You're a wise man. And before, man, I did try to call you again a few times. I just didn't. I got through, but you couldn't hear me. So I don't want you to think that I was being rude. I tried to call a few times, so it didn't went through.
Oh no. It wasn't your fault. I saw you on the phone. Like, in other words, my phone was showing you were on. It's just that when my phone ties into my mixer board, And that is like DJs use mixer boards, and guys in like when they're recording artists and stuff, they have a mixer board. Well, I have one of those
I got
too.
you.
Or I have one of those too, and my phone, I plug my phone into the mixer board, which sends it back to the computer, which then puts it up on YouTube. So your phone, I saw you, I saw Lalo, I have you as a contact. You were on, but the sound was going to the mixer board. It's just that I had the wires crossed, so the sound wasn't getting back to me or to YouTube. So no, you're good to go,
I
man.
got you.
Yeah.
I got. Well, Carl, listen, I'm gonna go, but listen, thank you so again, man. Serious, man, from my heart, man. Thank you so much, man. Really, you the man, brother. And I really appreciate it, man. I just want to say thank you, pretty much. I don't want to keep talking. Thank you, man. Really, really, thank you, man. I love you, brother, and thank you so much for the information I don't know, man, just to keep us with the info and to give a little hope. You do give a little hope, at least to me. I'm pretty sure everybody thinks the same, but you always give a little hope. So anyway, I'm going to let somebody else call. I'm going to be in the chat, put in my little 2 cents. And thank you so much again, brother, all right?
Hey,
You be safe.
will do, man. Hey, and thank you very much. Those are very kind words. So thank you very much for
all
that.
right. Thank you.
All
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
And, of course, that was a great Lalo. Yeah, he called in over the weekend, yesterday, actually, when I was at the chili cook-off. And I was really glad to hear from him because I hadn't heard from him or seen him or anything. And I'm like, oh, where's Lalo? It's kind of like Nonya. It's like, where's Nonya? Oh, wait a second. We didn't see Nonya for a while. We didn't see Lalo for a while. I don't know. Was Nonya and Lalo sitting in a tree? Kissing. It's funny, and they came back right around the same time. Lalo came back yesterday, and Nonya came back today. It's like, aha. But and thanks again, Links, and everybody for the kind words. Much appreciated. Nonya, no. Sorry, I couldn't resist, man. It was right there. But anyway, let's take a look at this story here. So, Pentagon lays out $6.8 billion of projects to cut for Trump border wall. Things that make you go, I agree. See, GT agrees too. There you go. But anyway, so let's see. Let's take a look at the story here. Again, this is from the Washington Times. Anyway, the Pentagon has a list of $6.8 billion worth of construction projects it could choose to take money from in order to build President Trump's border wall, according to a list belatedly provided to Congress on Monday. But officials have yet to decide how much Defense Department money they'll use toward the wall, and so they haven't decided which projects on the target list would actually be affected. The Pentagon has also here. Let's maybe zoom this up a little bit. It looks kind of small down there. So let's see if we can make the letters a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It might be better. Yep, okay. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit better. All right, so, but officials have yet to decide how much Defense Department money they'll use toward the wall, and so they haven't decided which projects on the target list would actually be affected. Pentagon also said Congress can make sure none of the projects suffer by passing an increase in military construction money for 2020, allowing the government to go back and replenish the accounts Mr. Trump wants to drain for his border wall. Still, the list gave Democrats on Capitol Hill targets to fire at. Right, exactly. So now what they're going to do is say, oh, this is going to hurt these people. Like, I think I brought this up a month ago. They're going to find, like, say they're taking construction away from, like, building a handicap ramp at a PX at some base, like in Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. And they're going to find some little old veteran lady who needs that wheelchair access to get to the PX. And since the wheelchair access isn't being built by the Defense Department because evil Trump is using that money to build a wall, the little old lady can't get up the wheelchair ramp and she falls down. Kind of like that Seinfeld episode when they parked in the handicap spot and the little old lady, crashed her wheelchair and stuff. And like, oh, you parked in the handicap spot. The little old lady got hurt and stuff. So now here's the media. They're going to find all these. They're going to look at all these projects, and they're going to find. Let's see. Let me see here real quick. Bring this down just a little bit. There we go. they're going to find all these projects, and then they're going to find these people who are going to be harmed by it, and they're going to say, "Oh, see, Trump is doing this. He's harming, the children and the widows and the orphans and stuff." So anyway, here's what the Democrats have to say. We know President Trump wants to take money from our national security accounts to pay for his wall, and now we have a list of some of the projects and needed base repairs that could be derailed or put on the chopping block. Hey, axe, chopping block. Hey, hold on, let's see. We got to highlight this. Chopping block. So there you go. Or put on the chopping block as a result, said Senator Jack Reed, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee. Chopping block. Let's get that on again. So yeah, let's see if it gets on there. Oh, it looks like I'm covering it up. Let's see. Hold on. Let me come up here. I gotta show this. Oh wait, I'll just pull it down. Let's see. Look at that. See? Axe is here. We know President Trump wants to take money from our national security accounts to pay for his wall, and now we have a list of some of the projects and needed base repairs that could be derailed or put on the axe chopping block. As a result, says Senator Jack Reed, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Now that's funny. I'm sorry, I find that funny. But but okay, so anyway, of the money at risk, about 1.1 billion is from Army accounts, 2.3 billion is from the Navy. The Air Force accounts for 1.5 billion, and another 1.5 billion is from department-wide funds. Department-wide funds. And let's continue on with the story. Here we go. Projects are spread across the U.S. and even across the globe, with bases from Bulgaria to Guantanamo Bay on the list. Mr. Trump last month signed a spending bill. Mr. Trump last month signed a spending bill that includes $1.375 billion in border wall money approved by Congress. He then issued a declaration calling the border situation an emergency, triggering powers under the National Emergencies Act to shift money around. He directed the Treasury Department to shift $601 million from a forfeiture fund to wall building, then ordered the Pentagon to tap as much as $2.5 billion in drug interdiction money and up to $3.6 billion in military construction money. The emergency declaration applies to the construction money. Senator Gene Sheehan, New Hampshire Democrat, was upset to see two projects at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard on the list. These projects, well, right, because that's her district. These projects are vitally important to the shipyard's mission, to jobs in the region, and in the case of one of these projects, has been planned for years, she said in a statement. Democrats will likely use the list to put Republicans on the spot in the run-up to a vote in Congress next week, when lawmakers will get a chance to overturn Mr. Trump's veto of a bill that would have halted his emergency declaration. The projects that could lose funding include military training centers in Virginia, a plan to prevent water contamination at Camp Lejeune, and a cybersecurity facility in Georgia, said Senator Tim Kaine, Virginia Democrat. I hope my colleagues in Congress will take a serious look at the projects that support our military in their own states and then vote to override the president's veto. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to override the president's veto on that. Just saying. I don't see it happening. Let's see here. I'm going to switch over. There we go. Oh, let me see if I can fix this up a little bit here. Bring this over. There we go. Yeah, now I'm all on the way. Let's see. Well, sorry about that, guys. Just went a little bit too far. So let's just go over there. And let's make sure this story looks good here. Yeah, that'll be good enough. All right. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, next story. Fed is likely to signal rate boost isn't near. That's actually excellent news, everybody. If you raise interest rates, that cuts down on growth, and that cuts down on the economy recovering and making jobs and all that other good stuff that goes on. So basically, the Fed, they have a policy in place that says when inflation gets over 2%, they raise interest rates to slow growth. I think it should be something more like 4.5%. Give inflation means that there's more demand than there is supply. People want to buy more. They have more money to buy stuff. There's not enough supply because the economy was kind of slow, and so people weren't making enough goods. So anyway, demand increases, which means it's like a bidding war among consumers, which raises the prices of the products until supply can catch up. So the problem is when you raise interest rates, now supply needs to catch up. Well, you need to make more stuff. Well, generally most businesses need to borrow money to do that. So then when businesses say, hey, we need to go to the bank, borrow some money so we can make some more stuff to satisfy these people's demands, well, now the Fed raises interest rates, and now the cost of the money is more expensive. And so now the cost of producing these goods becomes more expensive. And actually what happens is that inflation goes up. So the Fed is not careful by raising the interest rates to curb inflation. By raising the interest rates, you increase the cost of the goods being sold, which actually increases inflation. So that's why I said instead of 2%, it should be like around 4.5%. So it gives the suppliers enough time to still borrow the money that was the interest rates low in order to meet the demand, and then when it hits 4.5%, it will naturally, in my opinion, kind of come back down when supply equals demand. Or if it doesn't, then the Fed can raise interest rates. And if you were kind of late getting to the game to build the stuff that consumers wanted, well, that's kind of on you. That's just a bad business decision, and I'm not going to feel feel sorry for you. So anyway, the Fed is signaling that. So basically, the Fed is saying they're likely to signal. You got to always read these things because they talk in weird code. The Fed is likely to signal rate boost isn't near. So basically, what they should have said was, Fed is not going to raise interest rates anytime soon. Okay, that would have been a little bit easier to understand. I mean, I have a lot of education. Even I was having a hard time reading that line. It was like, why? Why would you write it like that? Why? I don't know. By Nick. Oh, we can write him a letter. Nick Timmerhouse. That's the person who wrote it. Nick, don't write stuff like that. It's crazy. So then soon that's what pizza. Ooh, pizza time. Pizza time. Well, I didn't yell at the mic. Sorry, I got excited there. But anyway, so Federal Reserve officials are likely to end their meeting this week, signaling little, if any, appetite to raise interest rates. That's good. Raise interest rates this year, part of a strategy designed to reduce the risk of a sharp slowdown in global economic growth. Good. So they're kind of worried about a slowdown in economic growth. I don't care if it's true or not. I'm just happy they're not raising interest rates. So if we're going to have a slowdown in economic growth, and global economic growth rather, okay, so be it. But if we don't and they don't raise interest rates, I'm happy too. Meanwhile, officials are preparing to announce on Wednesday at the conclusion of the meeting when they will stop shrinking their $4 trillion asset portfolio. Yeah, they bought up a lot of stuff during the recession, according to recent public statements and interviews. Officials appear to be leaning toward halting the decline in Treasury holdings by September, though final decisions have been made. Central bank signaled in January it wouldn't raise rates until Fed officials could better determine how several headwinds, weaker global growth, a sharp increase in market volatility late last year, and political uncertainties over trade and Brexit are ripping through the U.S. economy. Okay, the Fed boosted its short-term benchmark rate 4 times last year. 4 times. I think they raised it once near the end of Obama's administration. Maybe. They mainly dropped it down, and then they kept it at 0 for most of his administration. Anyway, they raised it 4 times last year, most recently in December to a range of between 2.25 and 2.5%. At that meeting, officials' projections showed most expected to raise rates another 1 to 3 times this year. Oh, God. New forecasts to be released Wednesday are likely to show officials now expect they may raise rates just once or not at all. Since 2015, the Fed raised rates on the theory that declining unemployment would eventually generate stronger price pressures. Well, I guess they were stupid because in 2015 and 2016, 68% of the jobs created under President Obama were only living wage jobs. There was no disposable income to spend. Okay, so I don't know what they were worried about in 2015. Yeah, the job numbers were up. Obama says, oh, I created jobs. Yeah, living wage jobs. Okay, we can't all work at Taco Bell. Some of us have to have the money to go to Taco Bell to buy some of the stuff they sell you at Taco Bell. Sorry, that's not how it works. But anyway, the Fed raised rates on the theory that declining unemployment would eventually generate stronger price pressures. This framework dictated that even with inflation running below the Fed's 2% target, the probability of higher future inflation demanded preemptive action by the bank. Anyway, I can't read that anymore. I'm going to get pissed. But anyway, let's see what else is going on in the news, the Washington Times. All right. Okay. Yep. I'm going to pull this up here. Let's see. Where's that Mueller thing? I just saw it about Mueller. Mueller probe pursues Russia collusion leads, but issues remain. Yeah. Let's see. Tilt the nation toward bankruptcy. Oh, here we go. George W. Bush. Here we go. Calls for immigration amnesty. Yes, thank you, George W. Bush, for nothing. All right, let's take a look at this story. George W. Bush praises borders, but then calls for immigration amnesty. Rage. And again, the phone lines are open. Everybody wants to call in. Area code 775-273-8970. If you want to appear on a live video link, you just send me an email to ca2jogger@gmail. After you finish talking about this, what about Judge Janine? Oh yeah, okay. Let me get that in a few minutes here. But yeah, anybody wants to call in 775-273-8970. If you want to do a video link where you appear side by side with me on a YouTube video, just send me an email to that email address right there. Just put in the chat that you sent me an email so I know that you did, because I don't, I got to go pull the, I got the email off on a window off to the side, but I don't have it open in front of me so I can see everything else. So just say, hey man, I sent you an email. I want to do a video link. Really simple. You can ask Nonya. It's really simple. Type in your username, hit join call, and boom, you're in. So it's like literally 2 seconds once they send you the link. Very simple. Anyway, so George W. Bush praises borders, calls for immigration amnesty. So let's see what he has to say here. All right, let me switch back over here. All right, here we are. Okay, so let's see what Georgie Bush has to say. All right. Again, this is by Washington Times. Former President George W. Bush said Monday that the U.S. should not shy away from enforcing its borders, but he also called on Congress to set aside political acrimony and approve a broad legalization for illegal immigrants. Yeah, I guess the rule is if you get over here legally and you're able to dodge, law enforcement for enough years, then you win. It's like, yay, you won the immigration game. Let's all play the immigration game. First, you come across here illegally without getting caught crossing the border. Then you hide out amongst your friends. Then you get fake documents and you steal other people's identification and you run up their credit. And then maybe you commit some other crimes in the meanwhile. But you hide out in your little, neighborhoods where nobody can see you, and you all look alike, so to speak, and you kind of blend in on purpose. And of course, you don't speak English, so it makes it hard for law enforcement to even question you, and et cetera, et cetera. And then if you can manage to hang out here for, say, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years, and maybe you can have a couple of kids in the meantime, a whole bunch of kids probably, then you win the immigration game. And so instead of coming here legally, you came here illegally, and now we'll grant you amnesty to reward you for your illegal acts and criminal acts. Not to mention, whose ID were you using? Because obviously you didn't have a Social Security number. Obviously you didn't have a birth certificate showing you were born in the United States. At least those weren't your real names. And you've been working under somebody else's Social Security number for all these years. Because you can't just have a fake one. You have to, when your employer sends it up to, whoever they send it up to, I don't know. They have to check to make sure it's a real person. So obviously, fake Social Security numbers, using somebody else's identity, committing more crimes. Mr. Bush, who himself led a massive round of wall building beginning in 2006, right, that's the 2006 law I was talking about, did not specifically praise or attack President Trump, who is now engaged in another wall fight. Let's see here. Looks like that's leaning over a little bit. Oh, yeah, it is. All right, let's fix this over. There we go. Yeah, it should be a little bit better. Okay. All right. So who is now engaged in another wall fight. But the former president did say Congress should again attempt to tackle comprehensive immigration reform. That's the name backwards used for bills offering amnesty from deportation to millions of illegal immigrants. Millions. They say estimated it's like 22 million illegal immigrants in this country. So do you give all 22 million citizenship? I don't know. How many do you give? Mr. Bush attempted to strike agreement on such a bill in 2006 and again in 2007, but failed both times, with his own party rebelling against him over border security. And some Democrats balking because they felt his plans would undermine American workers. Right, that's back when the Democrats stood for the unions and the American worker. They probably don't care now, but anyway. He spoke at a there we go. He spoke at a naturalization ceremony for new citizens hosted at the Bush Presidential Center in Dallas. Mr. Bush said immigrants are critical to strengthening and renewing America. Well, yeah, legal immigrants are. I totally agree. Legal immigrants are totally for that. But if you're coming across, if the first contact with the United States you have is that you did something illegal. I mean, the very first act you do, it's like if when you were born as an American, you're born in America, and the first thing you do as a baby is, I don't know, I guess like piss all over the doctor or something. I mean, it shows you total disrespect for our country, for our laws, for our culture, for our history, for our traditions. So if you start off disrespecting us and not giving a damn about us, how much of a good citizen are you going to become? It's funny, when I was at that chili cook-off yesterday, some adolescent girl and her friends came by my site, and they were asking about the hats, and I said, "Oh, you like this content, and she points to the Trump sign. She goes, well, that's gay. And I'm like, well, gee, don't be so homophobic. I mean, is gay bad? Or, I mean, these young kids, they don't really realize what they're saying. It's like, the same kid who would get mad if you made fun of gay people is like calling something gay, implying that's something she's calling gay is bad. So I said, well, no, I mean, what's up with that? And she goes, oh, I don't like Trump. And she said some really stupid things. But one of the things she said was, she goes, oh, he deported my uncle. And I'm like, oh, well, was your uncle an illegal, alien? And she goes, no, he was legal. I said, well, was he a U.S. citizen? And she goes, yes, he was a U.S. citizen. I said, well, you can't get deported if you're a U.S. citizen. I go, that's like deporting me. I go, you can go to jail, you can go to prison, but you can't get deported. I mean, so, and she was like 15 or 16, and her friends were about the same age. And I said, I said, I mean, obviously he must have been illegal. And she goes, oh no, she's swarping down that he was legal in the U.S. I go, maybe was he just a green card holder? She goes, no, he was a U.S. citizen. I said, well, it's impossible to get deported. And she just had this mindset because I guess her parents or whoever told her, hey, your uncle got deported. He was a U.S. citizen, and Trump, hates Mexicans or Hondurans or wherever, or Central Americans, wherever she was from. I don't know where her uncle is from, but I mean, she looked like she had been here a long time. I'm assuming she was not a dreamer, that she was just a regular U.S. citizen, and that her parents were U.S. citizens or were naturalized or came across illegally or something like that. But one of those things. But it was just funny, though. I mean, just the disinformation and misinformation, and the fact these adolescents aren't getting the truth, thinking that her uncle, one, was probably told by her parents, oh, he was a U.S. citizen and Trump just hates Mexicans or whoever, and that's why he deported him. Because, again, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can't get deported. There's no, what do we have that? We don't have banishment in the United States, okay? We don't banish you, We put you in prison, but if you're a U.S. citizen, we don't banish you. You say you have to now leave the United States. You're not allowed to be here, anymore. We don't do that. So, it's just funny. These kids, they hear their parents and their friends, and they just are totally misinformed, uninformed, whatever. And this is the same kids that Pelosi, the same kids. Hey, Amy, how you doing? But the same kids that Pelosi wants to give the right to vote to. Because like I said, she was like 14, 15, 16, and Pelosi wants 16-year-olds to, have the right to vote, and that's crazy. I mean, they're not educated. Then her explanation was, well, they're in social studies and they're taking civics, so they're really interested in politics and they're really interested in our country. No, they're not. These kids aren't learning anything. A lot of these kids don't even get homework assignments from their school. They just kind of go read and everything, and they're getting taught all kinds of LGBTQ and all this kind of nonsense. And, they're not really learning, history or history of this country, unless it's like negative history. They're just learning something crappy. He probably in jail and parents lied to her. I know you. You know what? You could very well be right about that. He probably is in jail. It's like, oh, he got deported. It's like, really? I thought he was in court. No, he got deported. Oh, yeah, you're right. The parents probably did lie to her. But, she was so willing to believe it, I mean, that Trump's a bad guy, but, oh well. So Mr. Bush said immigrants are critical to strengthening and renewing America while acknowledging the public debate on the matter can get pretty sharp. He joked that the new citizens are now part of a boisterous democracy that hosts those kinds of debates. The new citizens. Huh. The former president didn't offer any specific way out of the immigration impasse. Of course not. Why would he? But said an agreement should be possible. Why? It said his presidential center is working on a blueprint. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you were so wonderful as a president for the 8 years we had you. Let's see. You got us into our war in Iraq. You totally destabilized the Middle East by doing so. You took out Saddam Hussein for personal reasons. Therefore, you stopped the buffer between Iran and the rest of the Middle East because Iraq was keeping Iran in check. So you got rid of that mess. Then you caused a huge civil war inside of Iraq, which I think displaced a couple of million people. There used to be a lot of Jewish people living in Iraq. They even had synagogues under Saddam Hussein. I know a lot. When I tell people that, a lot of them go, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." It's one of the few Arab countries that actually had synagogues. And guess what? Nobody graffitied them. Nobody messed with them. Nobody bothered these people. Now, could these people get jobs in government and stuff? And no, of course not. No, that wasn't going to happen. But they weren't messed with. They weren't allowed to get messed with. Otherwise, Saddam's guys would come to your house and take you, your family, and your friends, and everybody else. Same thing. You have the Shiites and the Sunnis, living together side by side. Nobody ever killed each other. Not like they did after he got kicked out of, got kicked out, got killed, got captured and then killed. Excuse me. So, I mean, he kept the peace between the Kurds, the Shiites, and the Sunnis, and, of course, the Christians, the Catholics, all the different religions that are there, the Jewish people. And then, of course, we got rid George Bush was, let's get rid of that. And, of course, he kept Iran in check. Well, let's get rid of that. Now, Iran, pretty much, you saw Iraq over the weekend cozying up with the Iranians and pretty much telling, Americans, don't interfere in our country. It's like, yeah, well, thanks for nothing, because we interfered in their country. We interfered in their country to get rid of their dictator that they couldn't get rid of on their own, and we lost, 4,000 or 5,000 men plus hundreds of billions of dollars. And instead of saying thank you, they say, don't interfere in our country. It's like, well, you wouldn't have a platform to be speaking to say that right now. It wasn't for us. I mean, I think it was wrong to get rid of Saddam Hussein. But, this guy that's now the president or prime minister of Iraq is only president or prime minister of Iraq because, we did the heavy lifting for him because he and his own people weren't tough enough or strong enough or smart enough to do the heavy lifting themselves. So now they're getting all friendly with Iran. They've been friendly with Iran for years. So, and now they're even getting friendlier, and they know we're not happy about that. But, they don't care. Let's see. So, let's see. Here goes Bush again. That starts with recognizing a plain responsibility at the border in an often chaotic situation, being willing to state the obvious. Borders are not arbitrary, and they need to be respected, along with the fine men and women of immigration services and our border patrol. Yeah, thank you, George Bush. But he added, when the laws are outdated and ineffective, they must be rewritten. I hope those responsible in Washington can dial down the rhetoric, put politics aside, and modernize our immigration laws soon. Well, you couldn't get it done, so I guess you expect somebody else to do it for you. Yay, George W. Bush. Don't miss you at all. All right, let's see here. And I brought this up earlier when we had the technical difficulties, so I'll bring this up again here right now. All right. Dossier author Christopher Steele orchestrated post-election media push against Trump. Yeah, I mean, this is even after the election. Like, he was hired to do opposition research. So basically, after the election, his job was over. I mean, he wasn't getting paid anymore. He was done. He was hired by Fusion GPS, which was hired by attorneys for the Clinton campaign to get op research, nasty material, whether true or false, didn't matter, on Donald Trump, and then they could then use that, dump it like maybe a week or two before the election, kind of like they did with like the you can grab women by the vagina line. The women let you grab them by the vagina, that kind of stuff. So if you notice, NBC dumped that just 2 weeks before the election. So basically, when you do a dump like that close to the actual election, generally the candidate does not have enough time to really respond. He doesn't have enough time to put together commercial time, new ads for TV, to buy up those commercial spots, and then get that ad through and place it on TV, or to respond to it in an intelligent manner. Or if you do, you're playing defense for the last 2 weeks of the campaign, which is totally negative. So again, the attorneys for Hillary Clinton campaign hired Fusion GPS to pull up dirt, and they were planning on dumping that dirt a few weeks before, just 2 or 3 weeks before the election, November 6th. No, November 8th. I can't remember now. I think it was November 8th. So anyway, so after none of the when he was peddling this stuff before the election, and so was Fusion GPS, but nobody wanted to cover the story because it didn't have any credibility. And they read it and they go, "This is crazy. This isn't true. I mean, it sounds so crazy it can't be true." And they were right. It was so crazy it can't be true. So let's see what's going on in the chat. They passed on their Mary portfolio. Yeah, but GT agreed. Links, yep. Paula, yep. Amy, yep. Layla will be right back. And a word from our sponsors. Mr. Layla will be right back. But anyway, so let's see what I was going to say. Layla, don't forget to wash your hands when you're done. Don't forget, you got to wash your hands. He's going to the bathroom, GT. He's definitely going to go to the bathroom. So anyway, so Steele was trying to peddle this stuff to the media. So was that idiot from Fusion GPS. None of the media outlets wanted it. I mean, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post. Nobody wanted to touch that. They said this is too crazy. And of course, they asked, "Do you have confirmation? Has this been confirmed? Do you have any kind of backup on this?" No. Well, then peddle. Peddle your own opposition research. Get a pack to put it out there on TV, but leave us the hell out of it. Like, yeah, we want Clinton to win. Yeah, we're totally behind Clinton, but we think she's going to win anyway, so we don't need to put this stuff out there. So then after the election, pretty much he's out of a job. I mean, he's done. The election's over, right? Op research is before the election. But he hates Trump so much, he's still trying to peddle this stuff. And Fusion GPS hates him so much. And for all I know, he's still getting paid by the Clintons. I don't know. So he tries peddling this stuff to everybody else afterwards. Now, he can't get it. Nobody else is going to pick up the story and run with it. Okay? Nobody else wants to touch it. It wasn't until after Clapper had Comey go brief the president on it, on parts of the dossier, and then came back to Clapper and said, yeah, I briefed him on it. Then suddenly the document got its own form of legitimacy just by the very fact that the Federal Bureau of Investigation Director, James Comey, briefed the president about information in a document. That suddenly gives that document legs of its own. Now it has credibility. So BuzzFeed he got it from Kramer, from John McCain's guy, while Kramer was in the bathroom while this guy took photos of it, whatever. So anyway, so now BuzzFeed can say, hey, this, basically what they're saying is, the president was briefed on this document, and here's the document. See, if Clapper and Comey hadn't done that, none of these news outlets would have published this Steele dossier, because they weren't willing to do it before. But now suddenly they had a news story. They had a hook. They had the Clapper hook. I mean, he's director of national intelligence. James Comey, director of the FBI. So they can say, oh, these guys think this is serious because they briefed the president on it. If it was something BS, they wouldn't have briefed the president on it. So anyway, let's get to this story here. Again, this is from the Washington Times by Rowan Scarborough. Washington Times, March 18th. Dossier creator Christopher Steele had a far greater role in trying to sell his anti-Trump charges to Washington's journalism establishment than previously known, a court filing shows. It was public knowledge that, though through Mr. Steele's previous declarations in 2 libel lawsuits, that he had met with the powerhouses of D.C. journalism before the presidential election to brief his Trump-Russia conspiracy allegations. But with the March 14th unsealing of testimony from an aide of the late Senator John McCain, it is now known that Mr. Steele also adopted a post-election strategy to damage or perhaps stop the Trump presidency. Mr. Steele worked in tandem with David Kramer, the McCain aide. Mr. Kramer obtained from Mr. Steele via a middleman copies of the dossier on November 29th. Again, this is 3 weeks after the election. From there, Mr. Kramer testified in a libel case, and he and Mr. Steele worked to saturate reporters with dossier material. Let's see. Mr. Steele's dossier was financed by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. Thus, Mr. Kramer, a Republican, became this is the only thing I disagree with on this story. became an unwitting Democratic Party operative. No, Mr. Kramer became a very much witting Democratic Party operative because Mr. Kramer and his former boss, John McCain, hated Donald Trump, and they didn't care who they had to use to get this out of there. They didn't care if it hurt the country. They didn't care if it hurt the American working man. They didn't care if, you're going to have a president who's going to be ineffectual, unable to negotiate with the Chinese, the North Koreans, the South Koreans, the European Union, the Canadians, the Mexicans, because he was, under investigation. They didn't care. They didn't care about the American people. John McCain's probably never cared about the American people. He cares about himself. The legend of John McCain. Yay. Anyway, his deposition came in a defamation lawsuit filed by Russian entrepreneur Alexei Gubarev. Mr. Steele accused him of hacking Democratic Party computers. Mr. Gubarev, a Cyprus-based developer of computer servers, says it never happened. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has indicted Russian intelligence operatives in Moscow for the hacking. The Washington Times has broken down Mr. Steele's 35-page dossier into 8 key collusion charges. None has been proved publicly. No Trump associate has been charged with conspiring with Russia. Thank you. Mr. Steele alleged, for example, that Mr. Trump was a Russian informant for 8 years. That's insane. Mr. Mueller recently informed the White House that Mr. Trump isn't a target of the investigation. Before the election, Mr. Steele had 2 sets of meetings with reporters in September and in October 2016. The former British intelligence officer, again, former British intelligence officer, most likely fired or allowed to resign from MI6. He's a young guy. My guess is if something didn't go horribly wrong for him, he would still be there. So anyway, who knows? Maybe he's got some psych problems. Maybe who knows what kind of problems he has. Maybe he lies a lot. Who knows? The former British intelligence officer came to Washington at the behest of his handler, Glenn Simpson, co-founder of the private investigative firm Fusion GPS, hired by the Clinton campaign attorneys. More than 2 years later, those publications have generally taken neutral positions on his allegations. Yahoo News, Michael Isikoff, who first reported on Mr. Steele's dossier, though not by name, broke from the pack by saying in January that some of his assertions are likely false. Well, gee, Mr. Isikoff, maybe when you reported that on Yahoo News, maybe you could have checked the sources yourself. I mean, not like Mike doesn't have ties, inside Russia. I mean, he knows a lot of people over there. He does a lot of stories on those people. They give interviews that helps him and helps them, the whole 10 yards. So it's not like he could have, not gone over there. So, by the way, I see an ad running on here for the National Association of Broadcasting. Let you know I will be there at the National Association of Broadcasting. I'm not going to have a booth, but I'll be there at the National Association of Broadcasting as I have an exhibits pass, and also I'll be taking a class on, this is funny, outdoor live streaming, like I did this last weekend, with lights and, the lighting and audio and the video and the setup and, pretty much it's a 6-hour hands-on small class type training session. So it's like really, really good. And the nice thing, I would have liked to take the class before I did the outdoor event the last 2 days. But then again, since I did the event the last 2 days, now I have kind of a knowledge base where I can actually ask some questions and say, okay, well, I did this. How do we do this better? And so now I have kind of a base to build on. So I'm really excited. It's a yearly thing. It's a big, big, huge convention down here in Las Vegas. Everybody loves the NAB, National Association of Broadcasters. They come down here, they spend a lot of money. That's the big thing. That's how you can tell if, like, all the people who run the hotels and the taxi cab drivers and the restaurants and everything else, if they like a convention. It's like, do these guys spend money? Well, the National Association of Broadcasters, they're like the rodeo people. When we have the rodeo coming to town, I mean, it's the same thing. They spend a lot of money here. They gamble a lot. They buy a lot of booze, and they spend a lot of money. So there you go. But anyway, I'll be doing that. It's the first week of April, so I'll be down there doing that. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on a tangent, but I saw an ad running on it because, as you know, when you do searches and stuff on Google, and then you read a newspaper or something, they put ads up, kind of things they think you'd be interested in. Nonetheless, so anyway, let's see. So anyway, Michael Isikoff says that most of the assertions in there are likely false. Michael Isikoff reported on it anyway without checking any of the sources or confirming any truth of it. Because, of course, Michael Isikoff, I guess, not a big Trump fan either. On November 28th, 3 weeks after the election, Mr. Kramer met with Mr. Steele at his home in Surrey, England. flew all the way to England to review dossier material. The next day, Mr. Steele sent 2 sets of dossier copies to Mr. Simpson, who provided them to Mr. Kramer on November 29th. Shortly thereafter, reporters started contacting Mr. Kramer. Mr. Kramer said he doesn't know who tipped off the reporters. Mr. Simpson has connections with a number of Washington journalists. How they knew my role, I don't know, he said, but I did not reach out to them. On December 9th, McCain gave a copy to then FBI Director James Comey. His bureau had received data and copies from Mr. Steele and from Bruce Orr, the Associate Deputy Attorney General, whose wife worked at Fusion GPS. She and Mr. Simpson provided Mr. Orr with 2 thumb drives of anti-Trump information which Mr. Orr gave to the FBI. Mr. Steele's role post-election? According to Mr. Kramer's deposition, Mr. Steele specifically urged him to brief Ken Bessinger of BuzzFeed, which he did over the Christmas holidays. BuzzFeed published that copy on January 10th, 2017. It forever changed the Trump transition and presidency. Right in the middle of the transition, they're trying to get cabinet members appointed, they're trying to get staff hired, they're trying to get their policies squared away, and of course this thing has to come out, as its sensational charges permeated the news media and were endorsed by some Democrats. Mr. Steele also urged Mr. Kramer to brief CNN's Carl Bernstein. This meeting was also consequential. CNN broke the story that Mr. Comey had briefed President-elect Trump on the dossier, adding weight to the document. Yeah, I said that. Both of the meetings occurred at Mr. Steele's request, Mr. Kramer said. Indiana doesn't follow common car. Okay. And let's see. All right. But besides BuzzFeed and CNN, Mr. Kramer briefed and or provided dossier copies to Mother Jones, David Corn. He's an idiot. The Washington Post's Tom Hamburger. Hey, there's actually a guy named Tom Hamburger who works for the Washington Post. It's like, hey, is that Tom Cheeseburger or Tom Chiliburger? And Fred Hyatt, NPR's, and Fred Hyatt, also the Washington Post. NPR's Bob Little, McClatchy News Services, Peter Stone, and Greg Gordon. ABC News reporter Brian Ross, the Wall Street Journal's Alan Cullinson, and the Guardian newspaper. He didn't brief MSNBC. That's kind of funny. It's like I guess he figured they're just too crazy. If they put it out there, nobody's going to believe it. That's kind of funny. Mr. Kramer testified that the BuzzFeed posting shocked him. No, it didn't. And he was trying to peddle this along with Fusion the whole time. It's like, oh, I was shocked. Why was he talking to all these people? If he was shocked that somebody was going to print a story, he wasn't shocked. He was trying to get the damn thing printed. That's the whole goal of talking to all these people. Kramer again worked for John McCain. This wasn't supposed to happen this way, Mr. Steele told him. Mr. Kramer admitted that he lied to Mr. Steele by saying he had played no role. Whoops. Initially, I panicked. Wait, let me pull this up. Initially, I panicked. Then I felt I could try to do more good and by maintaining contact with Mr. Steele, which I thought might end if I told him, he testified. Mr. Kramer, a Russia analyst who worked at the McCain Institute in Washington at the time, also made sure that the Obama administration knew about the dossier. Oh, this will be interesting. He provided, let's see how he got the Obama administration to know about the dossier. He provided a copy to Celeste Wallinger, Senior Director of Russian Affairs at the White House National Security Council. He also met with Victoria Nuland, an Assistant Secretary of State. She vouched for Steele's bona fides. How did she vouch for his bona fides? Anyway, Mr. Steele previously provided his insights to the State Department on Ukraine and its political turmoil and threats from Russia. Good for him. According to a 2017 declaration in London court, Mr. Steele came to Washington in September and October 2016, met with reporters from the New York Times, the Washington Post, Yahoo News, the New Yorker, and CNN. Only Yahoo produced a story that September. Mr. Steele spoke with Mr. Corn via Skype days before the election. As an unidentified spy source, he expressed frustration in the story that the FBI had not moved against Mr. Trump. Oh, I guess they figured they were going to go to his house, either Mar-a-Lago or New York, Manhattan, and bang down the door and say, we got you. Based on what? There was nothing in there. The big difference between the pre- and post-election press briefings is that after the election, reporters received the actual dossier. His dossier told of an extensive conspiracy between the Trump campaign, and Moscow. In his court declaration, he spoke only of but in his court declaration, He spoke only of a possible coordination. He was so sure before when he produced that dossier. A federal judge in Florida dismissed Mr. Gubernev's libel lawsuit against BuzzFeed, ruling that the news website had a right to publish because the government was using the dossier. Hence entered James Clapper and Jim Comey. Again, the reason why James Clapper told Jim Comey to go brief the president on the dossier, could say, oh, it gave the dossier credibility. It also protects everybody against liability because, hell, it was the damn James Clapper when he made that phone call was the guy giving it the credibility. Okay, the Steele declaration came in Mr. Gubernov's lawsuit against him in London. Val Gervitz, Mr. Gubernov's U.S. attorney, said one thing is clear from Mr. Kramer's testimony. My surprise stems from the fact that Steele claims that it was not his intent to publish the dossier, he told the Washington Times, while at the same time he missed a meeting with every reporter under the sun and discussing the dossier with them. It is obvious to me that his intent was to make the allegations public by any means possible. Mr. Steele is likely still investigating Mr. Trump. Yeah, he's still running around trying to find something because he's trying to back himself up, but he can't. Daniel Jones, a former aide to Senator Dianne Feinstein of California, a Democrat, told the FBI that he had raised $50 million from liberal donors to continue investigating the president. Among those he hired were Fusion GPS and Mr. Steele. Wow. The guy produces a phony dossier and gets a $50 million contract to keep investigating the president. You know, I mean, you can, well, maybe this time at least he'll go to Moscow. I don't know about that, though. Crazy. That's just crazy stuff. You know, that's just crazy stuff. Hey, that's me. Let me take myself off of here. Boom. But, yeah, call-in number is 775-273-8970. And if you want to appear in a video link, just send me an email to ca2jogger@gmail.com. And we'll get you right over there. So, yeah, if any of you guys want to appear, just say, oh, my God, it sucks not being able to see the chat. Oh, Tanya, why can't you see the chat? What are you on, like a cell phone or something? Oh, you're on your TV or something, probably? It sucks not being able to see the chat. Huh. Well, I know if you're on, like, on my TV, let's see. Yeah, my TV, I can hit a button and it allows me to see the chat on the television set. But how can you not? Let's see. Oh, wait, he might be able to get my candy. Big Carl, that's me. Oh, your eyes. Okay. I was say, what's wrong? He's like, no, something's wrong with the damn YouTube. Oh shit. But yeah. So hey, any of you guys want to call in? It's open topic. Call and talk about anything you want. So I have no problem with that. In the meantime, I will search for another story to discuss. Oh, her glasses broke. Oh yeah, totally understand that. Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I wear glasses during the day, but nearsighted, so I wear them for distance. And then of course, at one point I got bifocals, which of course was a joke. Don't ever which of course don't ever waste your money on that. So when I'm doing these YouTube videos, you know, everything I'm looking at is pretty up close. I mean, nothing really is further than say 14 inches away from me. I'm looking at I got two computer monitors that I'm looking at. One's like about maybe, I don't know, 13 inches, 14 inches. The other one's about probably the same, 12, 13, 14 inches. So I can't wear my glasses. Oh, here's Lalo.
Hey, Carl. What's up?
Not much, man. How you doing? Again,
hey,
what
good.
you?
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, how are you doing? But I asked that before, so I was saying, how are you doing again? Are you still doing good? You getting more whiskey?
Oh, I'm doing great. But by the way, finish talking. I know you were talking about Tanya about the glasses. I know. I guess she's kind of blind right now. And I'm sorry, Tanya. I'm not making fun of you, but I guess she's a little blind right now. So go ahead, finish. I know you were talking about her. So go ahead.
Well, you know, the worst thing about wearing glasses, and I can speak to this, is that, again, like, you know, I normally wear glasses. I'm nearsighted, but both computer monitors I have in front of me are about 12 to 14 inches only away from me. So if I wear the glasses, I really can't see it. I see better without them. But I know one thing that's funny is, like, when you lose your glasses, like you set them down somewhere and you forgot where you put them, well, you're walking around without your glasses on, so you can't see good enough to find your glasses to begin with because you're not wearing them. It's really a hassle.
Oh,
Oh yeah, trust
well,
me.
well, listen. So far, I'm not that bad, not that bad. But I noticed that nowadays, when I'm reading something, right, I have to put some things a little farther so be able to see it. And I remember telling my parents back in the days, I'm like, oh, come on, you can't see that, you can't read it. And now I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting to the point that it's like I need to change things or either farther or closer, or I need glasses. I'm like, wow, it sucks to get old, to get older. So, so
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm not making fun of Tanya, baby. I love you, Tanya. But I noticed she said something about the glasses that she can't see. So I'm not making fun of you. It's funny, but I'm not making fun of you. So I just want to put that out there.
You're
so.
you're you're so
Uh,
mean. You're so mean.
No, no, I'm not. No, Carl, come on, man. You know me, man. Look, listen. If I joke around about you or anybody here, it's because I love you guys.
Oh, I
It's
know,
because
no,
if I
no, no.
wouldn't,
I know that. I know that.
oh, okay.
I
Because
know.
if I wouldn't joke around, that means I don't care about you guys. You know what I mean? So when I got friends or people that I love and I care, I joke around in a
Oh
good
no,
way
no, no,
because
no.
I
I
mean,
I know that.
oh,
I was only kidding.
oh, okay, okay,
I
okay,
was
okay.
I was joking around with you.
All right. Hey, but listen. Okay, I don't want to. I know I always talk about different stuff. I keep saying the same thing. Let me ask you. I know. Maybe this is really out of the subject. Whatever you were talking. And by the way, I got to listen to everything you were saying today. But just to switch it a little bit, what do you think? Your opinion, okay? And people here, by the way, about the judge and Fox, Judge Janine. By the way, I like her. I got to see her a few times, not all the time. I like her. You know, I think it's not fair what they did to her. And I actually today I went to see what she said. And when I got to hear what she said, I'm like, this is it. This is what they making a big deal. So anyway, I want to know your opinion on that, and if whoever's listening right now, let me know what they think about it here. I'm just curious, just to see if they think about the same thing that I'm thinking. I think it's BS, but anyway. So what's your take on this,
Well,
if you don't mind?
wait, what did I mean? I didn't watch your show that night. What did she actually say
Oh,
that got her in trouble?
okay.
What did she actually? No, what did she? You know what she said that got her in trouble?
No, well, I know she said something about the Muslim woman that is in the Congress right now, the young girl.
Oh, Elon Omar.
Yeah, exactly. But she didn't say anything bad. She just said something about what she wears, whatever. Look, I can't really say because I can't remember, but it wasn't nothing wrong. I mean, I swear, when I got to listen to today, this was like, I don't know, 2 days ago. Today I went and I listened, and I'm like, what? This is it? Come on, serious? What is the big deal? And I hear that the people that they are outside fighting and making protests about her and Carl, what's his name? Not Tucker. Sorry, Tucker.
Tucker Carlson.
It's yeah, it's supposedly it's paid for, and I believe it. All these people, because every time I see these protests, I'm like, if these people don't work, these people are getting paid, and everybody says that it's Soros is paying for them, and other people is paying for them, and I believe it. So anyway, they got all these people saying that Tucker gotta come out, meaning like gotta get fired, and now I got this judge Janine gotta get fired, and supposedly she got suspended for 2 weeks. So anyway, she didn't say anything bad. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she didn't say anything. I swear, if you get to listen, if you go to the video, you're gonna be like, "This is it." She didn't say anything bad, you know. But anyway, now she got suspended for 2 weeks. That I'm sorry. To me, Fox is gone. It's gone. Because you suspend two weeks a person for not saying anything, and then you got these people saying a lot of bad things, and they keep having their jobs. So I'm very disappointed. I'm not saying I like Fox, but Fox to me it was like, okay, Fox is still like pretty even. It's still decent. But you know what? After this, I'll watch it because I love Tucker. I love Tucker, and I gotta be honest. I love the Gerfel. I can't pronounce the name, but it's on Saturdays.
Oh,
And
Greg Gutfeld.
Greg, yes, yes.
Yeah, no, his
I
his
like
show
the
is hilarious.
I like the show because it's funny. It's kind of like, okay, it's not too serious, and to me that's one of my favorite shows. So it's him and Tucker. Oh man, but anyway, that's my favorite two shows. But now that they took Janine, that I used to watch it back in the days, I used to watch it sometimes. I think I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed with Fox because look, I know Fox got. I think Disney. I'm not sure, but I think Disney bought them out. I don't know if it was last year. I don't know the whole thing, but I know they bought them out, and I'm surprised that they're still standing. You know what I mean? Like they're still
Right.
pretty good. But to me, this was a really slap in the face. I wish it was a spank in the ass because I would like that, but it was a slap in the face. So you know what? I'm so disappointed of Fox because come on, I don't know if this is honest, Carl. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know anymore if this is about money, power, or kissing ass. I don't know anymore because sometimes I'm like, why can you keep fighting? Why can you keep doing things for the right thing? And every time I see something like, hey, this is going okay, this is fighting. And then I see something and they just go backwards. I'm thinking, what happened? Are they afraid? Are they getting paid? Are they kissing ass? So I get frustrated. So I know you don't know what happened.
Well, Media Matters that went after Tucker. That's paid for by George Soros. That's a George Soros funded company.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree. Yes, I know that. Yeah, okay. But the channel Fox, I mean the another channel, but meaning the whole whatever they call it. If I'm not mistaken, Disney or somebody from Disney, whatever, bought it. I think last year or whatever. They bought the rights or they bought the whole thing. So I'm surprised that they haven't changed really 100%. Right? Like they're going little by little, but they're not right away. So I don't know. My opinion, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think Fox is moving the same way that CNN is going. Maybe not so fast, maybe not so bad, but I think it's going that way too. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. What do you think about that?
Well, I know. I think. In fact, I was watching. Who's that guy I watch? Anomaly. I'm not sure if you ever watch him. He's on Facebook, but I watch him on YouTube. Anomaly. I'm a sub to his site, and he was talking. It was late last night, so I didn't catch the whole thing. But he was talking about how Fox is heading liberal. Didn't they just hire Donna Brazil? I mean, I heard. I thought.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
yes.
I mean, Donna Brazil was like in the bag for Hillary Clinton. I mean, she got fired from CNN because she leaked.
I don't like her, by the way. I
Well,
don't like that
no,
girl,
she
but
no,
that woman.
no, I don't like her either. I mean, she's the one who leaked the questions to the Hillary Clinton camp that were going to be asked her at the town hall meeting, at the debates. So I mean, she's a Democratic operative, and the fact that Fox would hire her, well, that shows where they're heading because the old man is like old and dying, and what's his name, Murdoch. His sons are taking over. And his sons are a couple of social justice warrior types, a couple of leftists, and so they're going to eventually get rid of the conservatives on Fox, and I mean that's going to be terrible. I mean it's the number one cable news network right now for a reason. Because it gives you fair news. They do much better than CNN or MSNBC or NBC, ABC, CBS. And if you get rid of the conservatives, you get rid of the fairness, you start bringing a bunch of liberals in. Well, why are we going to watch Fox? I guess I can't watch anything then. I guess I can just stay on YouTube. I guess.
Carl, sorry to interrupt. The only other channel that I'm actually I watch a lot now and I like it is the AO, what is it called? AO. Don't get me wrong. You know me. I'm pretty bad with the names. I don't really pay attention. But it's AO.
AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC.
Yes. Thank you. To me, they're very honest, very fair. So I think they're very good, and I think they're going to grow. I just hope they don't keep changing, or I hope they don't sell out, or I hope they don't get intimidated. But I think right now they're doing a really good job, and they're growing. I think a lot of people are going to them. So that's my my opinion on that right now. So,
Well, that's a good
what
opinion.
do you think?
No, I think that's a good opinion. I think as far as look, the conservative movement has been reinvigorated since 2018 again. 2018 a lot of conservatives stayed home, or a lot of Republicans stayed home. They were bored, but after we got trounced in 2018 in the House, nationwide. So I think it woke a lot of people up, and I think we'll we're going to come back. And as far as I mean, Amy's talking about One American News. Are you talking about them as well? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. It's OAN
Oh, okay,
News.
okay. Okay.
OAN News.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I subbed or did something to get on that. I have the app on my phone actually.
Oh,
Where I can
but
actually
listen,
watch the news and
I'll
stuff.
tell you what. Look, I'll tell you what. Look, I only been listening to them for a few months. Okay, not a lot. But look, this is my opinion. Of course, I recommend it because they're pretty right now. Right now, okay, right now they're pretty. They seem pretty even, meaning like they tell you how it is. If it is good, it's good. If it is bad, it's bad. If it is the right or left, So they seem like a decent news. So I like them right now. I really like them more than facts, definitely more than facts. And I'm not trying to say, okay, because they like Trump. No, they seem very fair. I hope they don't change. But nowadays, money, power, I don't know, they change. But now, to me, they're starting to grow. I don't know how big they are. I don't know, whatever. But I think I think they're gonna pass facts. If nobody, I was going to swear. If nobody mess with them, I think they're gonna keep growing. But you know how it is right now. They got all these power people that they keep shutting the good people off. So I don't know how big this company or how big this news place is, but I hope they keep growing. But I'm telling you, you keep watching them. They tell you how it is. They'll tell you good things, bad things. But I think they're pretty fair, and I think that's how the news is supposed to be, pretty fair.
Yeah,
The
that's how it
news.
should be. Yeah.
Exactly, the news, because right now, like the other day, when was it? The other day I saw a video from what's his name, Lime. I keep calling Lime. The black guy in CNN.
Lemonhead, Don
Lime,
Lemon, Don Lemon,
Lemonhead, yes.
the Don Lemonhead.
By the way, yes, Don Lemon. I think he's one of the most racist guy I ever saw. Okay.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
And he was saying, oh my God, he was just saying things about the white people and whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, man, give me a break, man. You dating a white guy, and don't get me wrong, you can date anybody you want because
Sure.
I don't care. But come on, man. I mean, how can somebody, and not only him, other people, how can somebody talk so much shit about one race, one well, I'll say white right now because it's white.
Yeah.
It can be anybody. And then, how can you talk so much shit? I mean, do you really believe what you say? I mean, sometimes I'm like, do these people really believe this? Like if somebody come up to me and say, well, black people is this, or Chinese people is this, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, let me see. Let me go see. Let me make sure. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, black people is this, or Chinese people, or Spanish people, or white. I'll go check myself. Because I don't believe anybody right now. I don't believe anything anymore. Before I used to believe everything. Now I don't. But nowadays people believe everything. They go to CNN, and this guy or anybody says, "Oh yeah, these people, say this. Oh yeah, oh that's fucked up. White people." I'm like, come on, man, give me a break, man. Listen, go research, do some research, man. Come on, don't believe everything you hear. So sorry, Carl.
You okay?
So it's the whiskey went to the wrong pipe.
Oh, okay.
So, but my point is like, come on, man. Nowadays, man, people should know better. Okay, it's common sense. Don't believe everything you hear right away. Do some research. and then you can believe it. But nowadays, man, serious, man. Oh, come on, man. I used to be one of those people. I used to believe everything. Everything I used to see in the news, I used to believe it. I used to. But then of course, I start liking Donald Trump. And don't get me wrong, not because I like Donald Trump. Because if Donald Trump does something bad, I'll be the first one saying, yo, no, that's fucked up.
Right.
But come on, do some research, man. Listen, and especially nowadays, you notice that the mainstream media is biased. It's no more like, well, this is it. It's no. It's more like I like this guy or I like this person. I'm gonna go for this person, and that's how it is. And people think it's not. Oh, that was my point. That guy, Lemon.
Yeah, Don Lemon.
He said one. Yeah, Don Lemon. He said one day. I remember. I saw the whatever the one a little clip of the show. He said, "I'm not biased," and the person was like, "Yes, you are," and he's like, "No, I'm not." And the person was like, "Yes, you are." He's like, "No, I'm not biased." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, you are biased." I see your interviews and your shows. You are biased. At least be honest.
Either he's lying to the audience, or he's lying to himself, and he really believes he is not biased. He really believes he's speaking truth to power, and he's not talking out of emotion, and he just knows the truth, and that is the truth. His truth is the truth, and he's talked himself into it. So that kind of makes him like psychotic. So either he's lying or he's just psychotic. One of the two.
Exactly, Carl. Exactly. But listen, one thing that I hope one day I get to know. Okay, like I know some people because I got friends. I'm giving you an example. I got friends that they were really, really close to me. I mean, really good. And I'm pretty sure you too and everybody who's here, they got close friends. That after Donald Trump won, things changed. Things changed for me and my friends, and I'm pretty sure it changed for a lot of people. That I thought these people would think like me. And don't get me wrong, I don't expect everybody to think like myself because, everybody thinks different, and I respect that.
Right.
But the thing that I'm surprised is I got friends that I knew them for like 30 years, maybe even longer, okay? And and you see things in front of your face, okay? In front of your face, okay? So it's not like, okay, I'm lying to you. They see things in front of your face, and I'm telling them like, look at this. I'm not lying. This is what's going on. And they're like, no, this is not. I don't believe it. And this is the thing that I'm like, I hope one day they can come up to me and say, okay, I was wrong. I don't believe it. I didn't believe it. Or maybe I had the Trump syndrome or whatever disease or whatever. Because sometimes they say, look, if you show me proofs right in front of my face, if you show me, okay, look, this is what Donald Trump did, and I got proofs, and I look at it, I'm like, oh shit, that's fucked up. I believe you, it's proof. The problem is like you can show them things in front of them. An example. Let's say Trump find a cure for I don't know, a disease, and you show proofs in front of their faces. They don't believe it. They're not gonna believe it. This is what I'm trying to say. I believe if I see proofs. I believe if you show me. These people, like my friends, they don't believe it. You can show everything in front of them. You can believe. You can show them the real thing, and they don't believe it. And they still call me. How do you call it? Well, racist. I'm used to that shit. I don't give a fuck anyway. Sorry, Carl. I don't care about that anymore. But they call me names and they say I'm lying or whatever. So this is my point, and this is my friends. I'm not even talking about people I don't know. This is people that I know for years.
Yeah.
So I hope one day these people, because look, if I'm wrong, I'll go up to you and I say, look, I was wrong. I really was wrong. But these people, honest. These people, I think they believe it so much that even if they know the truth, they will never go up to you and say, look, you know what? I was wrong. So I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, this thing is going so crazy that these people is. I hope one day they'll say, look, man, I was wrong. I don't think so. I think these people are so brainwashed that it's no cure. I swear it's no cure for them. No cure.
No, I
I
agree.
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm
Well,
wrong, Carl.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong too, but I think you're right.
Man. Anyway, I know. I keep sounding depressed. Hey, sorry, everybody here. I'm not trying to sound. You know what? Carl gave us some good news today about the wall, and he's looking good. His mustache is like nice and trim, so he's looking good. And by the way, love the hat. Love the new hat,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Serious.
definitely.
That's a cool hat. I love the hat. And by the way, I'm gonna send you an email so you can send me the hat from yesterday.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The
Yes,
Carl.
yeah. Yeah. Shoot me an email and with your address, and I'll mail you off a hat. I'm mailing. Yeah, send it to me tonight because I'm going to the post office tomorrow to mail links or her hat. And yeah, send me tonight, and then I'll shoot one out to you as well. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll try tonight. If I don't do it tonight, I'll do it during the week. But by the way, you send me anytime you can. No hurry, brother. Serious.
Okay.
Anyway, Carl, look, I know I keep bugging you, man. I call you again. Look, everybody, hey, somebody call Carl, man. This guy, come on, he's the greatest.
Oh,
come on,
actually,
everybody here loves Carl.
no, actually, Links was calling while you were on, so I'm going to call her back as soon as I hang up with you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna hang up. Link, call. Hey, Carl, love you, baby. Thank you.
Love you
I'll
too,
be
Lalo.
listening to you.
All right.
Later. Bye
All right, later. Bye. All right, that was a great Lalo, and up here comes Lalo. Let's see here. Boom. All right, we're gonna give Links the Don a call. She called in. I told her I'd call her as soon as Mr. Lalo is finished on the phone. And again, thank you so much, Mr. Lalo. Always a great phone call. Always a great time. So let's see if we get Links the Don on. Let's see. There we go.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Miss Links, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Lilo, great call.
Oh yeah, he's always great.
All right, great. Well, as far as when the Judge Janine thing, which I am enraged about, all she said, which is freaking right. Number one, it was put back way in the days where people couldn't come in wearing that garb to go anywhere. And then she swore till she took office and put a hand on the Quran. Not a Bible, a Quran.
Right, she's sworn on the Quran.
Right. Number one, this is America. You don't do that shit. And for all of those who let that happen, that's ridiculous. I don't get it. How can you let that happen? Because it just brings in more things and more people to do more stuff to our country. I don't like that. I'm not for that at all.
Well, no.
I
mean,
remember. Do you?
Yeah, no. I mean, hold on. Let's see. I gotta just. Boom. There we go. Okay. No. I mean, look. She has a right. Well, no, she didn't have a right to wear a hat in Congress to cover your head. Okay. Nobody's been allowed to do that. Orthodox Jews are not allowed to wear hats, and Orthodox Jews, men, they have to cover their head in public. So they have to wear a hat or a yarmulke or something. That's why you see Ben Shapiro. He's always wearing a yarmulke. Okay. Now Jews weren't allowed to wear that in Congress forever, ever. Okay. And then she comes in and suddenly they change the rule. And then she gets sworn in on a Quran, like Ellis did up in Minnesota. He got sworn in on a Quran as well when he got into Congress. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with somebody believing their faith, but don't, if you lead with your faith.
Keep that at home. You don't put that in the United States government. You don't do that. Well, no, I'm America first all day long. America. You don't do that.
Well, yeah,
because guess what? That wouldn't be allowed in their country.
Well, yeah, the problem with Islam is that these people put Islam above, United States law or any law of any country that they inhabit. They believe in Sharia law, and that rules. In a lot of these areas where you have a large Muslim population, basically they're business owners. Yeah. The business owners and everybody else follow Sharia law. There was a case just some time ago where, these people were married and the guy converted to Islam. He instead of getting a divorce through, our civil courts, he just went and got divorced in the mosque and got remarried in the mosque, and he was still legally married. I mean, basically he was committing bigamy. Just because,
they're a little bit funny with that because the man could get it. The man, if women want a divorce, they can't. They tell them to look prettier and to doll yourself up so that your man could say, no, I don't want a divorce. But the man could get it, but the woman can't.
Right.
The woman
Exactly.
can never.
Right.
It's horrible.
Yeah. No, the women can't divorce her husband, but the husband can divorce his wife. That's true. So there you go. I wonder why that's coming through. I don't know why it's ringing through. You still there? You still there? Links? Links, you still there? Links? Links, you there?
Yeah, now I am. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I don't know what happened either. Beats me. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're right about that. It's bullshit. And I'm sorry, but is it okay if I say bullshit?
Yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to say bullshit.
Okay, great. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
you don't come into my country and you don't want to assimilate because it's part of the Quran. That's the whole thing.
Right.
The whole Quran.
Right.
They're not going to assimilate. They're going to go through. They're going to go by the laws of the Quran, and
right.
then you're going to come in here and get all of our spoils and no.
Well, no, exactly. Lots of parables in the Bible, and one of the most famous parables, Jesus was talking about because somebody asked Jesus, "Well, should we pay, taxes, to the Romans?" And he gives, pretty much. I forgot what the saying was, but he says, "Give to God what is God, give to man what is man's, give to the Romans what the Romans." Like, in other words, he said he pulled up a coin and had a picture of the Roman emperor on it, and he goes, "Well, who's on this coin?" He goes, "Well, the Roman emperor." He goes, "Well, then give it back to him." So it's his money. You can, in other words, it's okay to pay taxes. It's okay to obey civil law because God's kingdom is not the kingdom on earth. God's kingdom is the kingdom in heaven, and you try to find salvation on earth so you could get into the kingdom of heaven. Whereas in Islam, they believe that they should not follow civil law here, and they should only have to obey. What the hell is this? There you go. And they should only have to obey. Oh, I know that's coming through. That's coming through on my my cell phone number. That's why that's coming through. Okay, so you hear that beeping every once in a while?
Yeah, it sounds like you're being like the call is being like.
Yeah, well, that's coming off my cell phone number for some reason.
Thank you so much for the house call.
Oh yeah. I meant to send them out today, but they were I rented an SUV to actually do the event.
I see you got the red ones now. Can you please send me a red one too?
I don't have a red Carl's Opinion hat.
Okay.
I only have a blue. No, my colors
are
my colors.
My
colors have always been blue and white. Anytime I promoted, any business I've been in, it's always been blue and white. So I did blue. I did.
I'm okay with that as well.
Well, I'm glad you're okay with it, Lynx. I'm glad you're okay with the colors I like. No, they're good looking hats. They're good looking hats. They have Carl's Opinion YouTube channel on it, and also has Trump 2020 written on it as well.
Well, great. I'm gonna wear those two. I got two red Trump 2020 hats that I just bought, and then a black one. So that's enough for the whole clan. Everybody's gonna be wearing one, including my kids. Yay!
Good deal. But yeah, no, I'll get those out tomorrow. You should have them within a day or two.
Thank you so much, Carl. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Not a problem.
And as well, oh my gosh, with the Judge Janine, with that, she better. I know she's fighting, and I know she would never apologize. Ever.
No,
she better not ever apologize.
She shouldn't.
You know how they do.
No, she shouldn't have to apologize, and Fox shouldn't have suspended her, because it looked like what I read she said, because it looks like Amy put it up there, what she said, but also I pulled it up, the article, and all she did was pretty much say, hey, look, she's going around talking Sharia law, she's, being, pro-Islam, pro-Muslim, is she loyal to this country? Well, that's actually a fair question.
Well,
and actually,
she's not loyal to this country.
No, it's actually a good question to ask of her. Are you loyal to this country, or where is your allegiance? Is your allegiance with your religion, or is your allegiance with our country and its laws? And my guess is, based on the way she's been talking ever since she got elected, her allegiance is with Islam. Her allegiance is first and foremost with Islam, and then her country comes, well, that this is. I don't think she even considers it to be her country. She kind of considers it someplace
I'm
she's
not even going to say second.
all right, she's trying to take over.
I'm not even going to say second.
Yeah,
And then, you remember when Bill Clinton, this was like years ago, he said that the same state they tried to put in Obama too, 10,000 Muslims. And look, see what happened to this state? That's exactly what happened.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
where everybody in that state voted for her, and now all of a sudden she's in Congress. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, that was Obama's plan. I mean, basically, he just wanted us to be taken over by everybody else.
He's part of the Muslim Brotherhood. He's always been.
Yeah.
He's been Muslim to begin with, and I didn't vote for him 2 times.
Well,
because I said, "What's wrong here? What's going on here?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was.
And I looked it up. I did my research, and I said, "No. I'm not. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but
no, go ahead.
I didn't vote for him twice. And look, it's been a disaster ever since. When he was in the fucking presidency, he's been a bum. And then on top of that, all of his things, all of his documents, all of his anything that has to do with him. He said after he gets out of presidency, they will be sealed for 12 years. Hopefully, Trump is going to unseal everything.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He keeps holding off on unsealing a lot of things. So we'll see if he actually unseals anything like he says he's going to. Because every time he gets close to unsealing something, then somebody scares him into not doing it. So I don't know.
Yeah, because people who probably had allegiance to Obama, and of course Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Oh, did you hear that there was somebody from a lawyer from Obama that was in the same area as Obama and Clinton when she was Secretary of State? All of a sudden, he's dead now.
No, I didn't hear that.
Look it up. Yeah, look it up.
Okay, somebody
is dead now.
Somebody that worked with Hillary Clinton at the State Department is now dead. He was killed.
And Obama.
So
a lawyer, one of Obama's lawyers that worked with him and her, they said that he committed suicide. No, he was suicidal. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
52 years old. Come on, man.
52 and he committed suicide? Let me see. Let me see if I can find that story. Okay, so Clinton lawyer.
Obama. Look up Obama lawyer.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
It's crazy.
Let's see. Well, it's Vince Foster from years ago. Prosecutor Ted Stevens case commits suicide. No, that's a long time ago. Now, Hold
on, let me try to find it here on YouTube because it was crazy. I just looked at it not too long ago. Let me see. Hold on. All right. Library. Let me find it.
No, I don't see it in here. Let me type in Clinton. Hold
on. All right, here we go. Hillary and Obama's, hold on, economic advisor, dead.
Oh, economic advisor. Let me punch that.
Right. You got it?
Let's see. Family says Obama's top economic advisor killed himself. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let me see if I can punch
this. All of a sudden, there's lots of suicides and everybody killing themselves. It doesn't make any sense, Carl.
Let's see. Let me punch this up. Let's see. punch this up. It's from the Washington Examiner. Hold on, let me get this over here.
All right, you remember when we go to Ask the Channel, Sultry Feathers?
Wait, hold on.
She has a channel.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let me just punch this over here. Let me pull this off. Boom. All right, see, family says Obama's top economic advisor killed himself. And let me get myself over here. There we go. Okay. Family of a Princeton University economics and former top economic advisor, former President Barack Obama, has said he committed suicide. Alan Kruger, 58, died on Saturday, according to a university announcement. His family said in a statement, "It is with tremendous sadness we share that Professor Alan B. Kruger, beloved husband, father, son, brother, and Princeton professor of economics, took his own life over the weekend." Again, this is from the Washington Examiner. And let me get the author of the story. Joseph Lawler of the Washington Examiner. Okay, and let's see. The family requests the time and space to grieve and remember him. In lieu of flowers, we encourage those wishing to honor Alan to make a contribution to the charity of their choice. Princeton had not provided a cause of death, the university said in its statement. In addition to his scholarship, Alan's life exemplified a commitment to public. Kruger was chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors under Obama from 2011 to 2013. In that role, he sought to draw attention to the problem of inequality and promote ways of increasing economic mobility. Also served in the Clinton administration as an economist for the Labor Department. Distinguished labor economist, Kruger was perhaps most famous for empirical research finding that increases in the minimum wage did not cause large job losses. Well, he's wrong about that. Original finding, okay. Most recently, Kruger had written a book on inequality, Rockonomics. Obama called Kruger a fundamentally good and decent man. He was deeper. Well, they don't say much about it in the Examiner. Examiner is a pretty good newspaper as far as getting to the through the BS and everything. But then they don't really say much about it. Why? What do you think happened? Do you think there was more to it than just him?
Because it's always somebody that commits suicide when it always comes there in that realm with them too. Somebody's dying.
So you
it's
think
horrible.
So you think somebody killed him?
Yeah, because he probably knew something.
Huh. Well, I hope not.
As usual, the people who get suicided know something.
Well, that could be true. I'm not a big person in the conspiracy theory, so until there's some more facts, I'm really not going to say like he was killed.
Hey, come on, look at Clinton's kill list. Come on now.
Well, no, I know there's a lot of people on that list that just suddenly they shouldn't have died and they were dead. But this is one guy. I don't know. It's worth looking into to find out. But he hasn't. It sounds like he hasn't been involved with the Obama administration since 2013. He sounds like he's written a couple books since then, but it doesn't sound like he was out there doing anything that would get him killed. Or unless you think he had some inside information that he didn't want to share. But I don't know what that could be. He was on the Council of Economic Advisors. He probably met with the president maybe once every 2 or 3 months at most.
All right. Wait here.
I don't know.
Have you ever looked at the there's a channel called a person called Bill Whittle?
No. No, I've never looked at that.
All right, well, look up Bill Whittle.
Bill Whittle?
Bill, yeah, Whittle.
Okay,
Bill Whittle.
Okay, hold on. Let me write that down.
And he talks about the Democrats and Republicans. It's something that he has, and he always says, "Don't believe me? Look it up."
No, I'll definitely check that.
That's what he says.
No, I'll definitely check that out for sure, without a doubt. But yeah, I always want to see proof. I want to see evidence. I'll be honest with you. Like for instance, like the Russia collusion story. Well, there's no evidence of that. What I'm saying.
That's a nothing burger.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying though. I'm saying like if when the left puts out a conspiracy theory, we need to challenge it. But we shouldn't be in the business of putting out our own conspiracy theories either, because let's see some proof, let's see some evidence first, and then let's come to some conclusions. But right now, all we know is the last time it sounds like this guy worked for Obama was back in 2013. Now, if it turns out he was like hanging out with the guy like every week, and he was involved in all kinds of shenanigans with Obama's private companies that he's doing political work with. Then it's like, well, okay, this guy had his hands in all this stuff right now, so this is worth looking into. But until we see something, I mean, I don't want to jump to any conclusions. Other than
Okay,
maybe the guy
to look it up. That's all.
maybe the guy was depressed.
See what's going on.
Maybe the guy was depressed. And maybe because he never won a Nobel Peace Prize or something. He was depressed and he killed himself. I don't know.
Okay, great. Look, it's called "Pin the Tail on the Donkey." Democrats, horrible, racist. This is great, though.
Okay, no, I'll take it.
Racist. Democrats, horrible, racist past. Bill Whittle.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it.
I'm happy everybody's here, and God bless you all. Trump 2020. Trump is the greatest president ever. Where we go one, we go all, and 4 more years. That's gonna happen.
Definitely.
Love you, Paul.
Love you too, Miss Links, and I'll get that out to you tomorrow. You should have it in a couple of days.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you, Links. Have a good one. Good night.
Later. God bless you too.
Bye-bye. And that was the great Links to Don, of course. Always a great call. And she was in the chat over the weekend. We were over the over this. I should have turned that down. My bad. Well, she was at the in the chat over the weekend while I was at the chili cook-off. So yeah, had a really good time. I ran a full-page ad in the newspaper on Friday to advertise the fact that I would be out there, and had a lot of really great response from the local community and stuff. So I picked up a whole bunch of subs and stuff also. So I was really happy about that. But Lynx, I totally agree. Lynx has definitely a great attitude. No, she's awesome. But yeah, there's a live call-in number there, 775-273-8970. And again, if you want to appear on a live video call, basically it would be like, let's see, let me show you. Basically, it would be like this, where I'm over here. Hey, that's me over here. Hey, and then you're like over there. And basically, you shoot me an email. I send you a link, and then you appear live side by side on this vMix live video production phone call, where you get to appear side by side with me. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. Just send me an email. Put in the chat that you sent me the email so I know you sent it, so I can actually pull my email, and we'll be good to go. So there you go. Boom. Other than that, let's see. Well, let's see. I've been going for about 2 hours now, and probably going to get ready to call it a night, unless anybody else wants to call in, offer an opinion. There's, hold on. Let's see. Nope, not that one. There we go. There's one more story I did want to cover real quick here, so let me cut over to it. There you go. Boom. DHS on track to nab 100,000 illegals at the border this month. Let me throw myself in here. Boom, there I am. That's really crazy number. Nielsen says southwest border at system-wide meltdown. In other words, they're just flooding the border. They're overloading the border. They figured out they can overload the border, and we can't stop them. And then the Democrats and the rest of the leftists have made it so impossible to deport anybody, and you can't house them in certain places. And oh my God, you can't put the kids in cages. They have to have their private rooms, and they have to have volleyball and mini hospitals on every site and location, because God forbid one of these kids comes over here sick and dies and whatever. I mean, you see these people crossing. I mean, they got pretty much what they're wearing on them. I mean, how healthy are these people going to be when they get here? Well, and first of all, I hate to say it, but none of those people in this picture look like they've missed a meal. You know what I mean? I mean, they all look healthy. It's not like, back in the 80s, they used to show people from Ethiopia and Somalia, and the kids sitting on the ground with the flies landing on their face and stuff. and say, "Oh, these people are all starving. They need help." Well, then none of these people look like they're starving. I mean, that woman there out front, she looked like she definitely eats at least 3 full meals a day. So why are they coming here? Well, stay in your own country and make it better. If you don't stay in your own country and protest and whatever, in your own country, if you just come over here to protest us, you're not making your country better. If you stayed and you put the same kind of effort into making your own country better as you do to travel all the way across the length of Mexico to get here, then cross our border illegally, and then hide out in the States and, hang out in your own areas and, get fake IDs. You put that much energy into, like, actually addressing your own government, and assembling with other people and showing up in like the capital of Honduras or El Salvador, Nicaragua, or in Mexico City, Guatemala with 1 million people marching. The government's going to pay attention to that. I mean, they will. But if you just say, well, I'll just leave. And of course, their governments want you to leave because they don't want to deal with your problems. If you stayed and said, "Hey, man, the jobs aren't that good, the pay sucks, my housing's bad, I don't like the water, I want you guys to do something about it, or we're going to get rid of you and replace you with somebody else," I guarantee you that they take a few seconds to actually, maybe do something to fix their countries. But if they just split, and anybody like this country, like Victor Davis Hanson says, is like the release valve. Oh, speaking of Victor Davis Hanson. Let's take a look at this. Hold on, let me get to it here. I just bought a book from Amazon. Yep, I use Amazon. I use Amazon for everything, actually. It's cheaper to actually order off supplies than it is off other like office supply stores. So anyway, let me cut over here and cut this out here. And this is a book I got from Victor Davis Hanson. It's entitled "The Case for Trump," and I'm going to put it up here on the camera. Well, here, let me take this down so you can see better. There you go. Anyway, this is the book here, Victor Davis Hanson, "The Case for Trump." And he's and Newt Gingrich says a great historian. Victor Davis Hanson makes the case for President Trump with unique insights and historic understanding and clarity. A must-read for everyone who supports the president or wants to understand this moment in history. Mark Levin writes, a brilliant, embracing analysis from one of the great thinkers and writers of our time, and a farmer to boot. Victor Davis Hanson. Here, hold on. Oh, sorry. There we go. Victor Davis. This is Mark Levin writing this. Hanson and a farmer to boot. Hanson understood the circumstances that gave rise to Donald Trump early on, how the president has made long overdue changes, and why his enemies seek to destroy everything. And in this a little forward here, in the case for Trump, award-winning historian and political commentator Victor Davis Hanson explains how a celebrity businessman with no political or military experience triumphed over 16 well-qualified Republican rivals, a Democrat with a billion-dollar war chest, and a hostile media and Washington establishment to become president of the United States and an extremely successful president. Hanson writes, Trump alone saw a political opportunity in defending the working people of America's interior, and who the coastal elite of both parties has come to scorn. And Trump alone had the instincts and energy to pursue this opening to victory, dismantle a corrupt old order, and bring long overdue policy changes at home and abroad. We cannot survive a series of presidencies as volatile as Trump's, but after decades of drift, Hanson argues that America needed an outsider like Trump to do what normal politicians would not and could not do, a fact that explains the fear directed at Trump by the political and media status quo. I agree. So again, great book. I just got it today from Amazon. I'll be reading it the next couple of weeks. I've got a phone call. Oh, we don't take any unknown calls, so if you're calling from an unknown person, we don't take your call. So got to call with an area code at least. At a minimum, you need to call with an area code. So there you go. All righty. Okay, so anyway, let's see. Anyway, yeah, if you can't, we don't take any unknown person phone calls. So at least you at least have to have an area code. Okay, here's an area code right here. So we'll take this one. Area code 747. You're on with Carl's Opinion. Who's this? Wait, hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go. Oh, bam. Hold on. Okay. Go ahead. I can hear you now. Yeah, I couldn't make out most of what you were saying there for some reason. I don't know why. Let me see. Well, I don't know why I couldn't make out most of what you're saying, but hey, sorry I couldn't make out what you're saying. But anyway, have a good one. Yeah, couldn't make out what he was saying there for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. Hmm, that's weird. Oh well. Oh, again, we don't take unknown person up. Mr. Douchebag, you on?
What's up, Carl? How you doing? I called earlier, but the phone kept ringing. I didn't know. Did you have what? Were you able to see it was me?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I saw it was you now. So I got you on now though. But I saw it was on you. I mean, I saw it was you. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? How is everything?
Everything's going good.
Lynx is
Everything's
a
going
great
good.
caller. Huh? Oh, no, everything's good. Lynx that was a great call. She really, she doesn't hold back. And that's a good thing. I mean, we need more of that.
Totally,
They
totally agree.
well, I tell you, they've been talking about more censorship and stuff on some of these conservative pundits. Have your channel's not your channel's not shadow banned, is it?
Well, I mean, I'm so small. I mean, what am I, 1,300 subs? I mean, I'm not really on the radar. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not really a
Yeah.
threat. I mean, I'm sure I'm not really promoted. But
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, what do I do on this side? I mean, I talk about the news.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody wrote in that one time. It's like, why are they trolling you? You only, you're a small site and you discuss, the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Times. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, no, I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm being shadow banned, I wouldn't know if I was or I wasn't because again, I don't do this full time, right? I go on
Yeah.
when I have the time to do it, and the biggest thing that holds you back from picking up a lot of subs is not having set times and like Mark Dice. We know Mark's coming on every morning, at 5 a.m. my
Yeah.
time, 8 a.m. Eastern time. That every morning, 5
Mhm.
a.m., 8 a.m. You can count there's Mark. Sticks and Hammer, he's coming on
Yep.
at Sticks and Hammer's coming on at 6 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. his time. Every day, the way
Mhm.
it's going.
Yeah.
So, and like Anthony Brian Logan, every Wednesday and Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I mean, the set times
Yeah.
like that are fantastic. But with me, it's problematic. The lawyer thing comes first. That's my
Oh
career,
yeah,
that's my life.
definitely.
I spent my whole life doing that. I spent my whole my adolescent adult
Mhm.
life, becoming a lawyer, then being a lawyer. So, yeah, that always comes
Yeah.
first. But I mean, I love doing this, but
Oh yeah.
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 This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Mhm.
I had a really great time at the fair over the weekend. That was great. I got to meet a lot of people,
Mhm. Yeah.
and a
Mhm.
lot of people came over to me and stuff. So that was really cool. It was really nice. It was nice being
Oh
out.
yeah.
It was nice being out in the field too. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Getting out of the house,
Yeah.
doing this outside the house, doing it out in the fields, and actually interacting with people while you were doing the live stream. Like I was in the middle of the live stream, people would walk up and say, "Hey," and I say, "Well, hey, you want to sit
Mhm.
down if you want," So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But how you
Yeah.
been? Yeah, I mean, your phone kind of dropped
I've been
yesterday.
good.
Your phone dropped again yesterday. You're doing. How's your phone doing? Is your phone doing okay?
That's all right. I don't know what's going on with that. I think I think my phone is like it's sensitive. It'll come on and my cheek touches the phone or something like that, and it goes on YouTube or something like that.
Well,
But
you could get one of those like
what was that?
you can get one of those like those Wii boosts. Like you ever see those advertised,
Yeah.
those boosters and stuff. So depending on where you
Hmm.
live, you may not be getting a really good signal from like the closest tower you're nearby. So because I thought about
Yeah.
doing that in here as far as getting like a boost to be able to boost the signal in here because we have real low internet speed up here. But so far
Yeah.
so far so good. It's been hanging on its own for the most part. So you know. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be a lot better,
So.
but
Hmm.
it's doing what
Yeah.
it's doing what it's doing. So it's
Yeah.
I got to live with what I got. What I did is I ended up setting up
Oh yeah.
multiple. I have multiple hotspots, both all through AT&T, but I have two different hotspots, and one I do downloading with, one I do uploading with, and then also I have another internet service provider that I actually have like Ethernet line connected to a router, and like I use that for
Hmm.
one computer for my downloading, and I use the AT&T hotspot for my uploading. It seems to work. It seems to
Yeah.
work pretty good. You know.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, Carl. I think the right wing in this country is starting to get pissed off with these progressive Democrats. Like, AOC is, she's been a little bit quiet lately. I mean, she made that comment about white supremacy in, with the New Zealand shooter. But
Right.
that guy, that guy was just a nut job. My heart goes out to the families that that are affected by this tragedy. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what
Right.
their religion or affiliate. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean,
Definitely.
because nobody, nobody should have to live through that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's like anytime. There was something that I want to talk about real quick. I mean, it's on the topic. But
Yeah.
do
Go
you
ahead.
remember back when? Carl?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello? Oh, okay. Okay. No, I was just gonna say. Do you remember back when Malcolm X said conservative and liberal kings fight for power, their motives are the same, but they differ in one way. The liberals more deceitful, right? Now let's look at some of the tactics that are used, right? Because Trump has a populist agenda. He has a nationalist agenda. The left have a open borders socialism agenda, right?
Right.
Look at the tactics, right? The left like to demonize gun owners anytime there's a mass shooting. Now it seems like anytime overseas there's a mass shooting, they want to demonize the NRA. They want to demonize law-abiding gun owners. I mean, this is nothing. Everybody knows this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, every time there's an illegal killing an American, the same type of tactic gets used, right? Well, it's the same thing. See, again, it's the words that Malcolm X used. They do, their motives are the same. Now, again, I'm all about the lesser of two evils. I mean, right now, and I know I brought up Mercer a few times, but we all know that Mercer probably is not doing this to protect the American people. The Mercer family has motives, I'm sure. Trump has motives, but I look at this, the things that I've seen with what Soros and his cabal have planned. I think I'll get behind what Mercer and Trump have planned. You know what I'm saying? Because it at least it involves me still having a say in my life. I mean, I don't, like I like being able to, if I want to buy, let's say if I buy a DVD, right, a DVD movie, and I decide I want to throw it in the water, I want to have that right to be able to buy it and throw it in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be able to still have a choice in my life. And I know if Soros, if Soros and them win, we ain't going to have any choices in our life. It's all about transferring the wealth of the world to a small elite group of people, as we all know, I mean, but again, I know, I look at a lot of this, I look, deep into this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, when you research this stuff, you got to know how to put two and two and two together, but of course, any of this stuff can be, it's theoretical. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I mean,
no,
nobody can
yeah.
really,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know.
yeah, there's no absolute answers, but I mean, no, I mean, look, I mean, like we talked about this before, we got, there's billionaires on the right, billionaires on the left. Morris appears to be on the left, or at least they lean towards the left, and or they support left wing views. But it's nice having a billionaire
Yeah.
on our side. He may not be perfect. He may not be what we want him to be. But then again, nobody's our
Yeah.
clone. But I mean,
Yeah.
my biggest thing, and I learned this. There was a pastor who did Rick. I want to say Rick Warren. He actually held one of the remember one of the debates in 2008 between McCain and Obama, where they
Mm-hmm.
each came on stage for a couple hours, ask questions. I mean, only one person was on. Like it was McCain first or Obama first. I can't remember who. And Rick Warren was at
Yeah.
his church in Orange County, and he had McCain on for a couple hours. Then he had Obama on for a couple hours. And Pastor Rick Warren, his son ended up committing suicide, and he kind of left the public sector. But he had a great line, and he used an example. The
Yeah.
example he used was him and the feminists disagree on just about everything. The feminists and feminist beliefs and his beliefs are just about at odds on every single issue. He said, he goes, except for one,
Yeah.
we found common ground. And the one issue was that pornography demeans women. It's dehumanizing and demeaning to women, and they agreed on that. And so, even though they disagree on everything else, those two groups got together and worked on this. And he brought his organization, his staff. He worked with a number of feminist groups on this. And he goes, we were able to find common ground, and that's the whole thing. It's like we got to just be able to find common ground. Yeah, we're going to disagree.
Yeah.
We're going to disagree on there were more things we probably disagree with each other on than agree on. But if 10 people and you agree with this one guy on this one issue, and the second guy you agree with only one issue, and the third guy only one issue. Well, after you get through all 10, you find out you got 10 different things you're working on together with 10 different people, and you're trying to get something done.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm always a big fan of finding common ground. That's
Yeah.
what I'm a big fan of doing.
And that's why whenever when we've talked a couple times about the immigration, right? That's why I would say if the Democrats were to say, okay, Trump, we're going to give you the money for the wall, no problems. We're going to give a complete overhaul of the immigration system. We're going to end chain migration. Now, if they give Trump that, I would definitely say, hey, Trump, go ahead and give them DACA and the 1.8 million illegals, because it was the only chance we would have had to fix our immigration system. And I would hope that the far right, well, I shouldn't say far right, but I would hope that the hardcore conservative super PACs and that their constituents hopefully would stay out of it and not try to make it hard, because some of those people don't want any immigration, and we can't really have that. See, right now, if you look at when Trump says, we want, more people to come in with skills and more people to come in, who can support themselves, can get a job, see, if he can change that around to where the system favors skilled workers, not unskilled workers, then he will have done a big blow to immigration itself, just in the fact that he was able to change the requirements. I mean, don't get me wrong, still have amnesty, what I'm saying, but not every single situation calls for amnesty, I mean, Carl, like I said, I'm Latin American myself, but we cannot absorb the third world, and we have these globalists who, these people are obviously evil. They don't care, but they don't understand that there is a rising tension. Well, I won't say they don't, they do. It's these progressive millennials that don't understand that there's a rising tension between the world conservative Christian base, gun-owning individual, and even right-leaning conservatives as well, they don't get this, and they don't understand that, because the millennial liberal is nothing like the classical liberal. I mean, the baby boomers, I don't know. I've heard people say the baby boomers are just as bad. I don't know. I haven't seen the latest numbers on, how liberal a lot of the baby boomers are. I mean, most of them, I would think a lot of them become conservative over time, but, that's a whole different story, But this younger generation, has played a huge part in the division of this country. You know, I mean, you see these young kids back when Black Lives Matter, you know, the whole tragedy with what was it that George Zimmerman and the kid, you know. I mean, you know, I don't know why Zimmerman did not listen to the officer. He was told to stay in his car, not confront the kid, but I don't know what he was trying to prove, you know. But anyway, you know, you have a lot of the, you know, when you look at a lot of the videos of these people blocking traffic and these people marching downtown, a lot of them are young adults, you know, probably in their mid-20s or early 20s, you know, and, you know, they just don't understand that, you know, that, well, again, they don't really have the mindset of wanting to, you know, talk about their problems. They're just so fixated on being extreme that it's created this division. You know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the words to explain them. You know, it's been a long day, but you know, but hey, I had to talk to the great Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
you know,
you're the
no
great.
live
No,
stream.
you're the great douchebag, man. What are you talking about?
Oh heck yeah, hell yeah! I wish them trolls would refer to me as Mr. Douchebag, but you know they call me a douchebag, and they say, you know, a lot of them say I live up to my name, you know, and I'm like, and I'll go in there and I'll tell them, well, of course I like my name too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I mean, hey, but anyway, that's another story, but you know, but one of the things that, and I know I mentioned Turning Point USA quite a few times, but that's one of the things that I like about Turning Point USA is because you need people like Candace Owens, you need people like Charlie Kirk, you know, Ben Shapiro, who can, you know, at least give these kids a libertarian's point of view as to how things should be. You know, not like not like a how do I say, like they don't have to necessarily change, you know, they don't have to give up their values or beliefs, you know, just like Brandon Straka. Brandon Straka still cares about all the things he cares about. It's the party that left him. He didn't leave the party, you know.
Right.
I mean, he you know, we need people like him to speak up. We need, you know, more people like Candace Owens, you know, because it's sad, but sometimes when I'm talking to people, like especially some left-leaning people, not far left, but left-leaning people, sometimes I think the only reason why they'll even listen to me is because I'm half Hispanic, you know, and that's sad. You don't want to have dialogue like that. You know, you want to be able to listen to anybody's opinion. You know, you don't have to agree with it, but, you know, don't sit here and assume that you know that you think this person's a racist or this person's a bigot, you know. I mean,
right.
But again, it's all that indoctrination.
Right.
You know,
No,
from
I
the
mean,
colleges and.
well, no, yeah, I mean, that's where it all starts. And somebody was saying it starts in elementary school, junior high, high school, and then when they get to college, it really kicks in. You know, and these kids are afraid
Yeah.
to speak up and say anything or to offer a different point of view because they're going to not just get shouted down by their fellow students, but get shouted down by the professor. And when you're in college and you're investing that kind of time into a degree, and you realize that's the guy who's grading your exam, you know, and
Yeah.
even though a lot of exams are done in the blind, some aren't, and still a lot of when you're in college, generally a big part of your grade when you're getting to the upper level classes, you know, when the classes are smaller, is class participation. You know, when you get into graduate school like law school, you know, sometimes a third of your grade is class participation. When you get called on, you know, you better have the answer, and if you don't, you know, there's a third of your grade gone bye bye. Well, if a professor calls on you and then you give an answer he doesn't like, well, maybe he's going to ding you on your grade, and there's no what are you going to, how do you appeal that? You can't, it's impossible. So you end up with a bad grade, and then maybe you don't get into, you know, a good career path or something. So these kids are just totally scared, you know, to say anything, and then they just, well, might as well just go along, you know, the hell with it, you know.
Is I know that ever since Evergreen had that whole incident with you know, those kids, what were they saying? You know, not to make fun of anybody, but you know, saying these racist teachers have got to go. I mean, some of those students have been taught by those teachers for months on end. You know, so all of a sudden now they're racist teachers. You know, I mean, and you know, I don't blame people for not wanting to go to Evergreen. You know, if I go to college, it's to get an education, not not to be harassed and heckled, because of my
Right.
demons.
I tell you
And
what. I tell you what. I'm gonna have to let you go. I got a
oh,
phone call
okay.
that came in on my cell phone, and that one I do have to take. That's a business related call. I do have to take this
Oh,
one.
yes, yes, yes.
So I tell you
Okay.
what. I'm gonna I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna cut off the. I'm gonna say good night to everybody from the live stream, and hold on. Good night to. Hold on. Let's see. Boom.
Okay.
All right, man, Mr. Douchebag, thanks so much. And let me
Okay.
just, I
All right,
gotta
Carl.
let
Great
me
talking
shoot
to
over
you.
here. All
All
right,
right.
sorry guys to cut this one short. This is a business call I do have to take, and I do apologize for cutting the stream. I apologize, Mr. Douchebag. Seems like we're on the phone. Something
Oh no,
happens. I
it's
don't know
all good.
why.
It's all good. But
Okay.
take care, Carl,
All right, have a
and
good
I'll
one,
talk
Mr.
to you soon.
Douchebag.
All right.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
good night to all. There's a business call I do have to take, so you guys all have a good one, and I'll see you the next time we live stream. And thanks again to everybody who's been in the chat, to everybody who's been viewing, to everybody who will view later. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you like it a lot, please subscribe. And you guys all have a great, great evening. Take care, everybody.
Have a good night, Carl.
Have a good
Take
night.
care.
Bye
All
bye.
right.